planted.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to SpikeTalk episode 17. I'm your host, Bebe, with my co-host, Frost versus you. And we got Boy here. What up, brothers? And we're in person. Oh, shit, it happened, bro. Right. Let's go. Hey, man.
Did it.
Hey, man.
We did it.
We
did
actually
it, team.
made it out here. We're all in Korea. It's crazy. Man, the match has already happened. You guys already played a match. It's been kind of crazy, some of these games that we've been seeing, especially like most notably the Trace game that just happened yesterday. That was insane. But I just want to first just start off and talk to you, Boy, about like, you know, everything about this year and everything, and let people know like what's going on, because you had a starting spot on this roster on Talon, but you know, when Frost decided to bring over, you know, Governor, and he brought up the idea to you, you were okay with taking a step back. So I just want to get your thoughts on that and, you know, how it's been in that whole process and helping out the team as well throughout the whole year.
Yeah, beginning of the year, the initial plan was to have me as an IGL, and we were going to have 4, you know, tie players essentially, and I was just going to pioneer that team. But once we had the opportunity to get Ban, obviously I wanted to play with Ban. It's no disrespect to Governor or anything like that, but, you know, I just thought that their chemistry might have been better. We also get another +1 English player because Cruz also speaks English. So I think just being able to have that communication was going to help the team long term. And obviously, we're still having issues with communication because of that. But I think because I took a step back, things have been a lot easier in that department. So a little unfortunate on my end, but I think for the greater outcome, I'm obviously very happy with the results. So and it's not like I'm not part of the team. You know, I'm still providing a lot and doing as much as I can for the team, still working with players one-on-one as well. So, yeah, I think our journey is pretty good so far. You know,
I mean, you made it to champs.
Yeah,
Everybody wrote you guys off the entire year.
So, I mean, there's really no negative for this year at least. So, I mean, I'm happy that we at least made it to champs, which makes me feel better about that. So,
yeah,
what do you have to say about that?
Frost over here, like
he's like, man, maybe I should have been playing.
I'm trying to win it all.
maybe I should be playing.
But how's it been for you, Frost, in your point of view, like having a player that can actually like be that mature and like take a step back and be like, okay, maybe this is what's best for the team and whatnot? Because I feel like a lot of people out there from the outside in, like they didn't even know that all this was happening. No, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's big because like he had the spot and he was willing to do that. Like that's a level of maturity that not a lot of players in esports have. And I had to do something like this in Overwatch actually because we had such a god squad on the Shock. Like we had the most crazy Korean roster of all time, and like I had to take a big step back too and be like that, you know, sixth man, I guess you could say, and like hype everybody up still and still be a part of the team. So how's it been for you? Like,
Well, it was shocking because it was his idea. Because he's like, wait, we can get Ban?
yeah,
And Ban wants to play with Governor? Wait a minute. This roster could be good. So I remember thinking like, fuck, but then that means you can't play. And he's like, yeah. It's like the realization of like, wait, we might have a good roster turned into, wait, fuck, I might not play. That was tough. I think the good thing about that was him and I had already had a previous relationship because of 100 Thieves. So we could talk about like this sort of stuff.
Anything. Yeah.
And like not get personal. So when we talked about like what the better roster would be, I obviously told him, I was like, yeah, I think that roster is much better than even one with you and like, you know, the 4 ties, right? Like I just think it's just going to be stronger. And, you know, he was like, yeah, I know. And like he had the self-awareness to be like, yeah, this roster is going to be good actually. So it just sucks because when you're friends with someone, you don't want to like hurt them in any way.
Yeah.
But then, you know, the truth is our jobs are to win.
Yep.
And what was the easiest path based on roster composition? It became that. We didn't know it would turn into what it came into with the Thai community not liking it because the international move was kind of weird. But I think what I find both sad about that perspective and both good about that perspective was it's sad that, you know, pretty much everyone, anytime something bad happens, if we lose a game, it's obviously like, you know, kick Ban, kick Gov. You know.
Yeah.
But the good thing about that was I don't think people are ever going to truly understand that even if we went with a full tie roster, if Aaron was IGLing, Cruz wouldn't have been able to be what he's going to be in the future for Thailand. Because the truth is, like, I've been talking to him this year about this.
Like his development.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
if we stop throwing games, we can make a run. Everyone feels it. Bro, you talk to every team, bro. We are clapping cheeks.
I mean, even your love game, like low key. I mean, we can get to that later on, but like, you have so many games against these teams, especially like okay in your region specifically, like
Yeah.
DRX, PRX,
Yeah.
Genji, where like you guys have these close ass maps, and then it just doesn't go your way. But it's like by a couple rounds most of the time.
Yeah, but like I tell him, he could be like the Thai Fallen because FPS wise, obviously they have like, especially in the mobile genre, Thailand is pretty strong. But I mean like in terms of like CS FPS, like he could be that guy for them
Yeah.
because he'll be the OG, the IGL,
The IGL captain,
guys, right?
yeah, exactly.
Like I've been talking to him like long term future. He's my inevitable replacement. Whenever he decides to hang it up, he's gonna be like, this is his program.
Yeah, coaching, and then
Like,
he's going to be training the younger Thai generation.
this is
and
gonna be
everything.
his thing, right? So I don't know if these conversations would happen or could happen if he didn't have Governor and Band because, and I'm positive. I know next week we're gonna have a surprise for everybody, but like I'm positive that if you speak to him, he'll tell you like the amount that he's not only been able to develop because he has Band and Gov here. Because game IQ wise, like everything we're doing this year with the different compositions, with the different protocols on every map, with like, all the like things that we're doing, which is like, we've obviously strayed away from every default comp,
Yeah.
right? And we've looked to specifically attack every default comp because this is what everybody's going to run.
Everyone runs the meta.
Right. So this is only possible when you have really experienced, really smart players. Now, I know Governor technically isn't really experienced, but as you and I have talked about, Peter is like really, really smart. Like he's a very intelligent player. Overheats to the max and drives me fucking insane.
You got to work on that, bro.
Yeah. But
But
he's
that
a very
comes
smart
with the
player.
experience, though.
Fair,
right?
it does.
Fair.
Yeah, it shows why he's inexperienced.
Yeah.
He's making overheats like that.
So like I think that the benefit that he got, Cruz, is probably something that I think him or the Thai community won't realize until years from now. Because the guy they got this year instead of last year, they're not even the same human,
Yeah.
right? Like Cruz, in terms of his understanding of both like team building, leading, out of game, taking his
Yeah.
own life seriously. Like if you look at him now, he's like a K-pop star. He's like chiseled, like the way he
bro.
takes his diet. Like
I'm
he's-
looking at the by the Talon capsule flag right there.
He's changed so much, right? But not just because of us, but obviously he went through, all the changes he was going to go through anyway because of all the experiences he had last year. But now when you add these guys, it's like an entirely different perspective. It's a different group. It's like a different mixture, and it's going to be good for him. And then like Jit also blossomed this year. Everybody's like, Jit's our best player.
Clutch
It's like,
God.
yeah, like the benefit that they got from this is going to be good for the Thai scene for years to come. It's hard for people to accept it now, but I think ultimately, no matter what happens, even without champs, it would have been very productive, and it would have been like a win for them in the future.
Yeah, and it also shows that they're able to actually play with an international roster.
Yeah.
So like, let's say, God forbid, they don't want to play in APAC, they can go to NA or like they can go
Yeah.
to EU. I'm just saying, right? Like
No,
they
for
have
sure,
that
for
experience
sure.
in itself, and that's not an experience that a
For
lot
sure.
of players can handle.
No, absolutely.
It's not for everybody.
Like Jit's game, I think, can translate to every region. Actually,
yeah, he's sick.
any region.
He's even in that lab, like that first map that you guys played on Bind. He's
Yeah.
like 5 first kills, 1 first death, like sitting like second frag. Like
in the lurk spot.
that's impressive.
In the lurk
that's
spot.
very impressive.
Like trust
To go
me, bro.
5-1 first kills, first deaths when you're lurking
against the number
that's
one
a big
NA,
W.
bro. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
bro. These guys are it. It's just us. We are our own worst enemy. But anyways, yeah. The roster mixes very well in and out of the server. I think that's something that Cruz has said to me multiple times, and I've been very surprised by his perspective on it has been very enlightening for me because, like, bro, he says, like, he's like, dude,
even though Governor overheats, I know he pisses you off, Hector. I know. but trust me, bro, that guy's perfect for this team. Like, he says that to me when he knows I'm like, Pete.
Nice.
Bro.
Well, yeah, because Peter is like one of those players where, like, no matter what, if you tell him what to do, he will listen.
Yeah.
And he will, if you need me to run in and die, he will do it.
Yeah.
So that's like the very good thing about him as a duelist is because not many duelists right now in this current meta are willing to just run in and die for the
There's
team.
a lot of
Bro, they're all
baiters.
baiters,
Yeah, this is like a huge baiting meta right now.
Yeah.
Bro, that's the one benefit I think no one understands about Governor is he's selfless on a team. Like, especially this year,
Same
I
with Ban
realized.
too. Ban's the same way.
Yeah,
Like, he's
yeah,
played
yeah,
like
for
10 million characters, agents, whatever you want to call.
Yeah. I mean, Ban openly, so on a team, yes, he's very selfless. Like, openly, he's like, we're willing to do anything the team asks.
Yeah.
But in server, well, selfish as shit.
Hey, yo. I can't wait to have them all on here, you know, when this run is.
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
Yeah.
I think people will finally get to see, like, just how much we fuck around with each other and how much we talk shit to each other. It's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, I think this is like another topic that I want to hit on is like everybody makes it seem like, you know, first of all, like you have like a stigma about you, whatever the hell it may be. And like they make it seem like, oh, it's like a Nazi boot camp or something here. But it's like not.
Yeah,
Like, you guys are all like a family here.
Hell no. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing about all that is, like, they think, like, I just yell at them all the time. And yeah, I do. I mean,
But it's like tough love.
yeah, like, I'm definitely like, bro, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, bro, I went over this already. Why are we, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it's, like, taboo to say this. Like, even at Champs, you know, I've already had an altercation with the player that got very, let's say, emotional, right? Obviously, tough loss. You know, I talked to Ban afterwards about it. He's like, bro, technically, though, we're not supposed to do this in Champs. I'm like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. Hell nah. We're supposed to win this thing. I don't even want to hear about this bullshit now. Like, it's just interesting because in some ways, I think my attitude and just who I am is good for them because before I came here, these motherfuckers were not talking about Champs. They weren't talking about winning a title. They weren't.
Yeah.
This is just not what it was.
It was like you're just playing for fun or something.
Yeah.
You know? And to be fair, like you want to play for fun, but like at the end of the day, we're here to win.
Of
you know what I mean?
course.
Like why else are we
Yeah, it's
competing against each other?
competition.
For sure.
bro?
For
You
sure.
know?
Yeah.
And you know me, like my attention to detail is
Yeah.
sometimes a little
Yeah,
excruciating for
you
some
can get
people.
very micro on
For
it,
sure,
yeah.
right? Like, so that has been good for them because it's like character building, right? At the same time, right, I can understand why, some of them are just like, bro, we made Champs. Like, I get it. Like, right? Like, I totally understand why we should be happy with what we've done and
Yeah.
where we are. Me as a human, I'm just fucked up in
Human
the head.
and as a competitor.
I'm just
Yeah.
not, that's just not my thing. It's like, no.
We're here. We might as well win the
Just
whole
Might
win
as
it.
well, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Just fucking
I
win
agree,
it
I
now,
agree.
right? So I totally understand why sometimes the perception is what it is. So I'm not even trying to like argue that away. I think ultimately though, what makes us all work is that, this isn't a dictatorship. I have very openly taken the hits, the lumps for losses, publicly even.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the 13-0. Everybody saw the video, and now they see, like, I didn't want to call a timeout. I wanted the 13-0s because I wanted to teach them a lesson. Like, you motherfucks. But, like, in general, it was still my game plan that went in there.
Yeah.
Some of the one-on-one stuff, some of the funny stuff that happened when we were down 6-0, 7-0, that's no longer the game plan. That's them trying to figure it out. But we're doing, like, very weird things now that are not part of what it was, right? So I still had no problem falling on the sword. And I think they appreciate that because I'm always the first one to apologize when I say something incorrect or if I'm
Yeah.
wrong. But I'm very hard on them all the time. And I think ultimately what's come out of that is they are very strong mentally because, like, they're no longer afraid of, like, what you guys are going to say.
Yeah, and that destroys everybody out
Yeah.
there. That destroys players. Like I've seen so many players in my career in multiple different games get absolutely destroyed by Reddit, and they just never recover from it.
Right.
They can't handle it.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? Like it's Fugazi. You should just like breeze past that. But
Like,
a
my
lot of
VOD
them didn't
review
have a hard
is
coach like you.
tough.
Yeah.
Bro, I be cooking the motherfuckers. Cooking
Bro,
them.
you'll be VOD reviewing in mid-match, bro. Mid match, we're just VOD reviewing the whole time. We take a
I'm
timeout.
like taking
taking a
notes.
timeout. Yo, man, two rounds ago, you're supposed to use your ult. I'm like, bro.
Make sure you do this.
Make sure the next time it comes up
But it can
in a
happen
spot.
again. Yeah, exactly.
Of course.
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Or like we'll lose the half, right? And I feel like, bro, the thing that drives me the most insane is when we lose the half, but we like die with 3 ults, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm just like, guys,
Yeah.
what the fuck are we doing in the last
Dude,
round?
that was like me yesterday when I was watching the Leviatán Trace game, and it was like last round of Icebox, and Tex had KJ ult, and he died like first. I was like, oh fuck,
bro. I would be, oh man. But like sometimes I'm like, okay, I know it was last half, but this half,
Let's use our
please
ults
be
better.
mindful of your fucking ults.
And
man.
shit happens, you know
Bro,
what I
I'd
mean?
be-
Yeah.
Shit happens.
I'd be tight. But yeah, so it's a good group though. We all fuck with each other, which I think is the most
Yeah.
important thing is everybody
Yeah.
likes each other, everybody pretty much gets along. Do things get tense? Do things get hot? Yeah, for sure. But I think
I mean, that's
I'm
what.
curious what you think about this.
I mean, that's just what they see on camera. Is that they always think that we're intense and very strict and hard.
yeah.
But yeah, when it comes to practice environment and actual like the culture, it's just when it comes down to the nitty gritty. Yes, it will be intense, but in general, the practice is very productive. I would say.
Yeah, and I've got
Yeah.
to sit in on some of them, and
Yeah.
the comms are pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie. Like even when you guys are getting mollywhopped and shit's just not going your way. Like I remember like the first week back, I was watching some of the scrims, and like you guys are going through it for sure. Like what was it? First week back from something after Shanghai maybe
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
Like it was rough, bro. But it was like
it was rough.
everyone was still trying their ass off. You know the
Yeah.
comms
Yeah.
weren't that
Yeah,
emo.
because
you
we
know?
were integrating Surf full time.
Yeah, that's what it was.
And
yeah,
he's
I
adding
remember.
new maps, and he's just like,
I mean, we're also kind of rusty though, because we're just like fresh
Yeah,
off
exactly,
the break,
yeah.
you know. Like everyone understood it was just a growing pain, you know. And then the week after that, we started owning. So
yeah, and he was just like overwhelmed at first because it's like, fuck, I haven't played this map. What the fuck am I supposed to do? In this
Learning
play
new
again?
shit.
He's
You
like
gotta
trying to remember
remember lineups.
plays.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm curious what you think about this. So I find it funny, and I don't think it's aimed towards me specifically, but I find it very interesting that the perception is like, yeah, I just go off the rails, I'm some jerk or whatever. But like the thing I've always thought was weird about this is, I play sports my whole life,
Yeah.
and
Me too.
I've competed in everything. Like that's like the one thing in life that I enjoy, which also makes me a sicko. I have no problem admitting it. Is like competition.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what it is. It could be dominoes, could be Uno, could be Connect Four. That's just I enjoy stakes, right?
Yep.
I don't think you can improve as quickly without conflict. I think it's so strange that like the perception, at least in Valorant, is that if you argue, if you have a difference of opinion, if you're at each other's throats, it's like a bad thing. It's like actually, I feel like the fastest you can grow is through that adversity and that conflict. What I think people misunderstand is, conflict resolution has to be healthy.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
So obviously, with some people, you can't be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? They're probably not going to accept that, especially culturally if they're not part of that, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you got to like know your room. But like, especially with me and Governor, bro, I could cook him. He'll probably be like, bro, what the fuck you doing, man? In game.
Yeah.
Right? Like in a timeout, I could yell at him and be like, bro, chill the fuck out. Like, stop overheating. Stop doing this. The first time you go +1, don't move. And he's like, yeah, all right, cool. Like to him, it's not like, oh shit, he got yelled at during a timeout. He
Yeah.
turns off, right?
Yeah.
So like I know with some people you can
I mean,
Ban.
that's our
the most
team.
famous one was Ban. Remember the timeout?
Yeah, we
Used
had
to tell 'em.
a timeout on Haven. So basically, we had ban on ISO on Haven versus DRX, and in the first half he wasn't playing that well. He was missing every ISO. He went like 0 for 2 on ult or something like that. And then in the halftime timeout, Hector was like, "Yo, Ban, you need to get your shit together. We're not gonna win unless you show up right now." And for the rest of the game, he did show up. He was hitting very good shots. I don't know what it is, but he just things like that is why Hector, I think, the relationship is good, where the conflict does kind of help them.
Yeah, because
It's a reality check.
He's an
Yeah.
important part of the team. If he's not playing well, I don't think often we're gonna win.
Yeah,
right?
he's like
So
your
for
stable,
me-
like that stable guy the
so
entire
my-
way through.
Right.
Yeah.
So my advice for everyone else was specific to the game. But for Ban, it was just like, yo, Ban,
Wake the fuck up.
wake the fuck up, bro. Pick your shit up, bro. We are not gonna win this game if you don't be you. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know what the fuck is going on. Figure it out. If you need to be more patient, be more patient. If you need to be more aggressive, I don't give a fuck. Go for it. But get yourself in the game. Well, he got himself in the game. And it's just like, Ban, that's another one I could do that with.
Yeah.
You don't, bro, he don't give up. I mean, Cruz also. Cruz is obviously the number one because I probably yell at Cruz now more than everybody else because he's my IGL.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I think it's just interesting what the perception of conflict is because I'm like, you know, me and Peter tactically, we probably disagree the most. You'd agree, right?
Yeah.
Me and him do not see the game ever the same way, ever, right? But that's okay because he's a really talented player. He's much better than I am. Like sometimes you have to go with the simple rules. It's like, can a guy cheat the math, and you know, is he just better?
Yeah.
Can he do this stuff? It's like, okay,
The conversation we had with certain players. Yeah.
yeah. Like if they can, it's like, all right, fuck, all right,
Primmie.
okay.
Yeah, Primmie is a good example.
That's another one that is killing me because
He's unreal, bro.
what
Yeah.
he sees in
He's
He
unreal.
breaks a lot of rules, but
He
yeah.
can.
Yeah.
I have a hard time coaching him actually because of this because he's so good. I think he just doesn't care about macro or timings. He's like, let me just sit here, shut the fuck up. Everyone else go over there. I'm fine. And it's like, yeah, but if you die here, we lose the round. We have to eco. And he's like, no, bro.
I'm
I
not
kill
gonna
4.
die, bro.
I kill 4. And then you're just like, bro, this doesn't make sense, bro. Fine, okay, let's do it. Half the time he does it, half the time he doesn't, but that math still checks itself out. So for me, it's like tactically he fucks me because it's like, you know, when you install game plans now, it's like he can just, he's already done this, where he just goes, yeah, I don't give a fuck. We're going to run this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to sit here because I think they're going to come here and I'm just going to kill them. And I'm like, wait, that's not what we're supposed to do. And then Cruz obliges. And then I'm like,
Damn.
and like, you know,
Then we gotta call a timeout to make sure
yeah,
that we're
like
following the game plan.
sometimes you need
yeah.
like a leash. Sometimes you need to be flexible. And the truth is, like with Gov and with Primmie, they remind me of, I know this is so weird, but like there's a Street Fighter player that some people recognize. His name is L.I. Joe. And I think if you study Joe or if you know Joe, you'll know exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
There's some guys that are pure instinct players.
Yeah.
Like,
Intuition to the max. Yeah.
Right.
Everything.
Those are-
The Mike Ross of Street Fighter.
yeah, right. Those are guys I can't coach because I've never been as talented ever in anything, right? I've always gotten away, like, especially because we were talking about this earlier. Football,
Yeah.
right? I played quarterback because I was smart and had a good arm, right? And I can kind of run, right? So, like, back when Vic was very popular, right? Like, rolling out was like, sure, I can do that. But I'm not Lamar Jackson or Vic. I'm not 4.3, right? Like, I ran, what, a 4.5, 4.59, which is basically a 4.6, right? So it's not like I got the wheels just be like, boo boo, I'm gone, right? Like you actually have to like pump fake, they bite, and you spin on them, and you go like, right? Like it's not like I can just be a superior athlete and just shit on you.
Yeah,
like that's never been my
you
thing.
have more hurdles to go through.
Yeah, so I've always been smarter than I have been talented, right? So for me, I lean on like in Valorant, right? So like the number one thing I talk
Fundamentals and
Statistics.
yeah.
or positioning or like you know like teamwork basically, right?
Yeah,
Because that's
yeah.
just what I know.
The high
However,
percentage plays.
Primmie,
Yeah.
I've never been Primmie in anything I've ever done in my life.
What
So-
about even in Dota?
Yeah, hell nah. Hell
no.
Fuck nah. Right? So I just got away with like Darkseer being broken, Gondar being broken, Furion being broken, like just doing what I do in video games. You find out what's broken, you just abuse that shit to the max. Or you find out what everybody else is using, just use what's strong against that and just be like, yeah, bitch, we're gonna have to change. Right? Like you're gonna swap. I'll take this all day, right?
Yeah.
I'll take the matchup. Right? So I don't understand what they go through, and I definitely don't understand like what they see because sometimes Peter suggests the dumbest shit, but then you see him and he'll like kill 3. Like what people don't get is everyone thinks Primmie when his first game against Secret in playoffs was impressive, and by the way, it was because the
That was
stakes,
crazy. That
the
was one of
stakes
the
were insane.
that was one of the most impressive debuts.
Yeah.
Other than like Woot. I think him and Woot got to like clash for the best debut.
I'm so glad he said that.
Yeah.
Tell him why, please. Tell him why, because he's
mean?
wrong.
I mean, the other debut that I think is insane is definitely Peter's debut, Governor's debut, because he did it against the same team, which is Team Secret, and on Neon, where people don't really see Neon.
That wasn't meta.
Was this was before
This
the
was before the buff.
the patch?
This
Yeah.
was before
And
the buff.
didn't you guys play Ascent too? And he dropped
he-
like 30 or something.
Yes.
So
I remember
Peter
this match.
has the record.
I
Yeah.
remember
The
this
ACS
match.
Yeah.
record is not Primmie. Primmie's number 2.
Ah,
Right? But like, and look, I'm not gonna fault you for that. Who cares? But the point I'm trying to emphasize is when Peter is on one or his apex
I remember playing him.
is
Dude. It was
nuclear.
It was like sometimes
Yeah.
in scrims he would just have these games where like even I was like, what the fuck, man?
No,
Like,
right.
Like, God damn it, bro. Like,
Yeah. So
this
some-
guy's cracked.
So sometimes Peter and me just have such philosophical differences because, you know, and you can see it in the Lev match, we'll probably talk about later, but
Yeah.
like what he feels and what he sees often is a conflict with what the game plan is, what we were supposed to do, what the ante could be, like what our strategy should be.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got to give these guys rope.
I know it's
Yeah.
so tough because even in like my Schmieg era, bro, like there was just so many intuition plays that I made during that time that just like I just knew I had to make them at the right time, and I know it didn't fit within like what we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
But like it's just like something in me was like, yeah, do it, and
Right.
and we reap the benefits of that. So it's like
Yeah.
there's always gonna be this constant like push and pull of like, okay, the leash thing, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll give more of a leash, sometimes you don't like. But I think it's important for that individual as well to understand that if this shit isn't working, you know, like you when he's on too much of a leash, you got to be able to reel that shit back in and be
Yeah.
okay with that. Because a lot of these duelist players,
That's
They're
especially
not-
the
they're not
younger
okay
ones,
with it. Yeah.
they have a really hard
That's
time
fucking
understanding
hard.
when to
Yeah.
turn it off
And
and
that
just
is-
get carried by your team. You know what I mean?
Right. And that's often, if there's ever been like times where like I go on one, it's that. It's that sometimes our risk
Shit
assessment
ain't working, bro.
But it's not even that. Our risk assessment is just bullshit. Like
Mm-hmm.
we'll just take a bad fight because we're feeling it. It's like, bitch, it's a 5v3. Bro, that's why we load so many 5v3. Don't even get me fucking
That's-
started on that bullshit.
See,
too.
that's one thing that I learned from JDM when he came in.
Yeah.
He was like, dude, like you're fucking. He's like, you're so fucking talented. You get the first kill. Sometimes you get 2. Sometimes you get 3. But like, why don't you just chill after that? Let the retake come in when you have numbers up. And he always used to tell me, he's like, I promise you, you will get way more multi kills. You will get way more aces, and you're gonna look even better than if you just run it down and kill everybody. Because in the grand scheme of things, the more consistent play, you're going to naturally just get up there. Like, you're going to get up there to like 20, 30 bombs consistently if you're a really good player and you know how to reel it in, like after getting that first blood or even the second one.
And that is probably still something I struggle with in Valorant is, you know, I think it's because they're so young. I think players are so young.
It's like that dopamine rush, bro. When you're a young kid, like you're cracked out,
Yeah.
aimbotting everybody. Yeah.
And then I'm so ornery now that I've gotten older that it's just a bad mix. It's like they're curious and like, you know, crazy. And I'm just like, get the fuck off my lawn.
Well, I also feel like we're in an era right now where the younger generation of players are more clip farming. You know what I mean? Like
I
with,
feel
with
that,
social
yeah.
media, TikTok, Twitter, like everybody wants
They
to
really
make,
care about their image and how they are perceived from.
Like I'm glad
yeah.
they're thinking about their branding in some aspect, but at the same time, it's like it's not good for the team.
Yeah, the team winning is going to be way better branding than you hitting a nice clip.
But a lot of these people are always thinking about, oh, I got 2 already, I'm gonna go for the 3rd. You know, oh, if I get the 3rd, I'm gonna go for the ace. You know, things like that. And we've experienced that too, right? Where
Yeah.
you know, against DFM, you know, like Jib Boys almost had an ace, ran for it, died. Peter had basically almost
Oh,
got the ace
dude.
on pistol round. You know, he would have gotten the pistol round if he just sat in the smoke instead of
Yep.
sliding on and killing him. You know what I mean? Like just small things like that, but it has a big like retaliation on us if, you know, against the bigger teams. You know, the habits start early. You know, you want to build those habits early, and then obviously we're at champs now, and you can see that it's actually starting to hurt us a bit because we haven't been developing it early.
Yeah,
So,
it's-
and it even stems from ranked, you know, because all these guys play ranked like
Yeah, ranked is
a
so
lot,
tough.
a lot,
It's
and
because you have to play it, but
Yeah.
at the same time, you get bad habits from it,
Yeah.
and it's like,
but that's where it ultimately starts, though. It's like being
Yeah.
able. This is how you're able to control, you know, that leash thing you're talking about, where it actually starts in ranked. Where if I get 3 kills, normally it's okay in ranked to go for the kills, but you know, if you want to build good habits, that's where you do it. Oh, I
Yeah.
got 2 kills. Let me back off. If I'm playing with a duo, let's play retake. you try to coordinate something. That's how you build your fundamentals. That's how you build your habits.
That's so we were talking about something on like maybe the last 2 episodes where we were talking about Primmie specifically, and this is before like he got more experience and everything. But we were talking about this thing about how Primmie, it's like he can just sit there, kill 4 people. But I was like basically saying that it's more important, like you were saying, to like learn how to play the normal, fundamentally correct, like high percentage play way.
Yeah.
And then save that shit for the matches. And then if
Exactly.
you have that intuition in a match, fucking go for it, right? It's a match
Exactly.
play. I call them match plays is what I call them.
Yeah.
Like running out of a smoke, at a random timing, trying to get a 4K or like taking whatever timing you want. These are match plays. But when you're in practice, I think it's so important to practice the good shit.
Yes.
Right? Because if you do for what happened to me, and you weren't a part of this when we were talking about this, but what happened to me was I was doing all my match plays in scrims, in ranked, when I was streaming, all this shit. Got to a point where like I realized people, like all the pros are watching my VODs, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden when I'm getting in these matches, it started getting harder to start doing the timings that I had, all the ways I was punishing these teams because I was doing it all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is why Osboss is so good. Like when I scrim against him, yeah, he has these moments where he'll just pop the fuck off and go crazy. But a lot of the times he's doing the correct play.
Hey, he gets easy kills.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like he's the most insane player or whatever, but in reality, it's really easy to him because, like, yeah, he's insane for the first couple kills, and then he just chills out.
Yep.
And he plays the percentage game, and then that's what enables him to be the best player in the game. So it's tough finding that mix as a young player because, like, at least for me, I was, like 26 or 25, 26 when I was doing that shit, and then I had somebody come in that was, like, kind of like, he was like hard on me. Real shit. JDM was really hard on me. But it's because he saw how good I could be. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you are the same way. Like, talent when you fucking see it. I mean, the whole roster you put together is amazing. So
yeah. And I told Cruz, I started feeling how weak I think teams really were, especially going into their game plans for prep week.
It was like the second week of kickoff. You're like, oh, I understand how these APAC teams are now.
And that's why we just started just going and doing the like all the different comps. It was like, bro, if this is what they're gonna sit on, just trying to ante you to death, and just like that's all they're gonna do.
We experienced our first anti strat against GE basically, where we kind of did the same things that we always did, and Cruz finally felt the pressure of like, oh, I don't know what to call now because they know everything that we do.
So I was like, okay, don't worry, we got the recipe.
Yeah.
It's easy. Don't worry. And I think season 2. So after Shanghai, when you were saying like all those scrims.
Yeah.
When all the Shanghai teams were here, and I felt like we were dog shit, actually, because, it took Surf a little bit more time than I felt it needed to basically, like, acclimate to all of Lenny's maps. Mm-hmm. But then when I started seeing it turn, and then I started seeing how well we're playing all these teams, I'm like, this is like day one. Like, what? Like, how is this even possible? Like, how are you guys falling for this shit? Because he had like base setups. He's not even doing anything crazy.
Yeah.
He's just being Surf, right? He's just like, here are your base setups. Here's what you're supposed to be doing. But it's not like he had like, counter to the counter to the counter. It's not like he had like different. He was literally just working on one thing for 12 rounds. Next time we played them, another thing for 12 rounds. But I had like surprising success. I was like, I remember telling Cruz, if you bring Primmie here, I'm pretty sure we can win champs. Like I'm telling you. And like, I think at first he kind of was just like, ha ha ha, yeah. And then I think it was the DRX game that he really was like, damn, you were fucking right. Because at that point,
the one that you guys should have gotten second seed, right?
We should have won second. We were fucking trash.
Yeah,
It is what it is,
that was
right?
close.
Like, we threw.
That was
Bro,
super
we threw.
fucking
It's not
close.
even close. You're just throwing.
Yeah.
We're just actually giving people money. It's actually insane. Anyways.
It's actually fucked up though because you guys do it so often.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know if it's like something that will just like fix itself with more time.
It's just for
do you think it's just more time?
It's just
Like,
rookies.
it's time, right? It's experience.
It's just a lot of experience.
It's just rookies.
But like the fact that you could even
But
put
it's my
yourself
fault
in a
because
spot to
be
in like a
bro, we should have never been.
You know what I'm saying?
The fact that we had a chance with 2 weeks left in the season to finish second in the league with a bye, I think, in my opinion, was, pretty much, yeah. It solidified to me that I was right in kickoff and that, we could do
the things that everybody says we can't do because I felt like this is the time now. And I also feel like, if we're going to be even more honest, I feel like the state of Valorant in terms of, I think players have never been better. I feel like tactically we have never been worse. It's actually awful what I'm watching.
I think in Valorant we've
terrible.
gone backwards for sure.
So for me, it's kind of like it's nice because in one way I can turn this around with rookies because we've literally had 4 rookies this year.
Team, yeah.
And we've never had a solidified 5th. We're like one of the only teams in Valorant, I believe, that literally has never had a cohesive roster this
You
entire
guys played
year.
with like 3 different.
Everybody makes
Five
changes.
members,
Yeah. Everybody made changes like one change in season 2 or whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm talking about. And then DRX went early in the year, with some rookies, and then they obviously replaced Stacks, blah, blah, blah. But like that's a singular move. We just kept going, revolving 5th for the whole year. Then we get Primmie, his first official game. Yeah, it's just for playoffs. It's just to qualify for champs. Right? Like it's kind of fucking dumb.
That's so insane, bro.
Right? It's just
was such a crazy gamble,
bro. It's never the way you would draw it up, but it just I felt and I feel like.
By the way, you don't realize how nervous Hector was for that game. By the way, versus Team Secret for the playoff match.
Yeah, because I felt bad for him.
He was like,
It's like
I don't know what to expect.
I felt bad. Well, one, I never know what to expect from us because I get either good talent or talent. Sorry, right? But like I never know what to expect. But for this one, I felt like it wasn't. That's not the game he should have played first. It should have been Zeta, right? We're gonna throw him in on Zeta. We're gonna run default comp stuff we don't do. Make him feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Instead, we went into playoffs running default comps.
most important match to get into champs.
Yeah. We're running that.
It was a high risk play, but I think
it
was for the better because we knew I think we were still gonna win even if Primmie didn't play well.
We felt
That's
we
what
could
he was
win.
saying.
Yeah.
I remember he was saying
I'm not worried about that
That
matchup.
we've already beaten them before, and Governor and Ban should be the ones that step up. And,
it was not
and
gonna be
carry
up to
us.
Primmie anyways.
Yeah. I put the pressure on Governor and Ban,
And that allowed Primmie to fucking.
and then he
thrive,
just
bro.
he just bowled out of control because we had him on Clove, which meant we didn't have him on Duelist, so he gets to bait not like, he gets to tactically bait everybody, and it should put him in an easier flow state because he doesn't have to think so much, and then if you look at our comps, we didn't change anything. We didn't have any tricks. We didn't care. Our whole thing was we're gonna run default comps because if we lost, it was gonna be my fault. I was gonna take it to the chin, but we were also gonna scrim this entire time. Like the plan for me was never to go home early. The plan was, as punishment, he needs to get as many scrims with these top teams as possible throughout the whole summer.
He has to get adjusted.
So my flight isn't
Primmie's
until
development
after
is all
chance.
we cared about.
If we go 0-2 barbecue in this thing, we're still gonna scrim. We're still gonna be scrim
Well,
for
everyone's
everybody
still
else.
gonna be here.
Yeah, because it's for him, right? So I was like, look, that's the punishment. But the benefit is, if we can just get through this, he will be in such a incredible position for next year that's just what we're gonna have to rock with. But I wasn't confident that like this was the best move, A, for him and B, for us. But I just felt like, and obviously now that people know this, it's not no disrespect, but like I took the risk because I just felt like we could. You know what I mean? Like maybe if I'm playing Australis, I never make that
Your
risk.
intuition, bro. It was your intuition.
I just felt like we could, and it wouldn't matter. Like it's fine. Like we're still good. We have what we need, no matter what, to be able to finish the job and do it. But we are obviously not putting our best foot forward here. Can we do it? Cruz gave me confidence. He's like, bro, it's fine. It's gonna work.
It's just funny because
right, but I was secretly sweating bullets. Like, dude,
it's
I
just funny because when we played Team Secret in the playoff match and we got Abyss.
What happened?
No. That's a surprise that I want Governor to tell the world.
We gotta wait.
I want Governor to tell the world. I'm not gonna do that to him.
All right.
But yeah, so basically, Team Secret threw a curveball, which I didn't predict because just like I didn't predict DRX, right? Like that's why I said like
About the region.
Like not only about the region, but that's why I said in my post game about the DRX matchup, like they kind of blew their load because if you don't respect us and you think we're a trash team, why are you picking Abyss, which you can use to win the playoff?
Yeah,
league?
save it for.
Of course, you're supposed to save it for a real team, right? Like that's the. But if you're gonna pick it, that's a respect pick Because last time you almost got
They're
your
trying
ass
to win.
beat.
They're trying to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we didn't throw, you get your ass beat 2-0, and you're basically not even in chance because Secret's gonna fuck you up right after, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, Secret always had the number.
that's what I'm saying. So like,
Secret had everybody's number. They were
so-
beating paper ass.
Yeah.
it's so
So
weird.
we got
Like,
the-
like, it's
so
a game of
weird.
matchups. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
weird, man.
So when we got the Abyss pick, I was laughing because I'm like, this team never does this. Team Secret doesn't normally do this. Man, these teams are spooked. And in my head, I'm thinking, bro, you're spooked, and I'm out here worried if I'm making the right call. But it's a huge gamble because you don't want to be playing. So it's a new map, which was for us.
So it's better.
Surprisingly-
because it's better for us because we just made a roster change.
yeah,
it
yeah,
was
you have
so-
a new player.
it-
There's a
it
duelist,
favors the
jet
team that
player,
makes
yeah,
routers.
exactly, yeah.
So we were still running a default comp, but it was at least one where Primmie, who had been at the time the number one ranked player, and he was still playing ranked heavily.
He's
during
probably so
the
used
Abyss
to that
era,
map. His instincts could probably
he knew
just
the
win
map,
You. Yeah, you
and
could
he
just
had an
win.
understanding for the map. So I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, that's nice." They kind of gave him a
Dude.
map he's comfortable on.
That reminds me of like when Lotus first came out. All my fucking teammates hated it, and
Yeah.
I was just grinding rank like a motherfucker, bro. And I was playing Jet on it, which like
Yeah.
everyone plays Raze now. But at the time, it was kind of like CNET. You know how CNET still runs Jet on it? Like you can still make it work. But like, dude, I was
Something
like one of the
also
only.
on PRX.
Yeah.
So like when Lotus first came out, I was still playing Jet. Nobody was playing Jet because it just got nerfed. You know, they nerfed the Jet, the dash, everything like that. The smokes were nerfed. And my team, they hated the map. And I'm like, nah, trust me. Like, let's just play it. I'm nice at this map. And I was able to take over like the first, like, I don't know, like 3-4 matches until there was a solidified meta on the map. That's when the Viper shit became popular on it. And like people started playing Raze and
Old
stuff
Fnatic
like
comp,
that. Yeah. So yeah, it was great. And that was all from my instincts playing ranked. And I just knew like how to take certain fights on it. And that's exactly what you're telling me about Primmie. So
Yeah.
that's a W.
So it didn't help us as a group team, but it helped him,
Yeah.
which I was like very surprised by. I was like, huh, okay. So yeah, I mean, I just felt like we could cut the corners. And this is no disrespect to the teams or the people. It's just more like, yeah, I just felt like we could cut the corner. We cut the corner, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be right about this because I took a fucking massive gamble.
It's a huge gamble. Yeah.
But it turned out to work, and then, you know.
I mean, at the end of the
Yeah.
day, the gamble, even if it didn't pay off, it was still beneficial for the team's development for Primmie.
Yeah, and for next year.
That was
Yeah,
mostly
like-
the main
like,
reason. Whether we win or
he's
lose and
gonna
go
be-
home, we
yeah.
wanted to develop Primmie as much as we can, which is why we wanted
Yeah.
him for the Zeta game. Because win or lose versus Zeta, we still would have qualified for playoffs.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
And so we just wanted to give him as
Word.
much match prep.
And then we just get visa screwed, and then he couldn't. And then
Yeah.
now I'm like, fuck, do we just go back to? But then I'm like, wait, the last 2 weeks or after DRX, we haven't really prepared with Surf. Like,
It's a shit show. Yeah, that would have been a shit show.
yeah. So it was just a bad. It was
No confidence. Everyone probably would have had no confidence either because they're expecting that they're going to play with this rock star. You know.
like ultimately, I think I didn't have a choice, but at the time I was wasting energy and time and stressing over the choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it worked.
Something I want to go back to was that conversation we were talking about with the leash thing and like how you have a hard time understanding how to coach that type of style.
Yeah.
And I think that something that I can relate to and something that helped out JDM specifically when he was having that kind of debate with me was my IGL of poise. And I just want to give him a shout out because I would have these moments where I wanted to do something because I just knew it would work because it's shit that I saw. And it may have not fit into his overall picture of macro. But he was so good at being able to like change his game plan on the fly, but still make it like so. Like let's say like for example on let's say like, we were doing an A default on Haven, right? Attack, and like I noticed I can take a timing short A and get up really quick or something like that, right? He would be able to allow me to still do my intuition play,
and just shift
make
the
it
whole
fit
defense.
in the
Yeah,
macro of
yeah,
the
yeah.
game plan. And I think that that's something that you will have to try to teach crews over time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that will help out in terms of that aspect of try to figure out how to make that work. I forgot to say that point earlier. I just wanted to give you my point of view because I'm that type of guy where I'm like, yo, I know I can take this timing. I know it doesn't fit into this bigger picture that you have. And he was able to be the one that was able to like make all the pieces work around it so I can make my play still, and it still fits in the game plan. So there is ways to make it work. You know what I'm saying? So just because you have a hard time doing it doesn't mean it's not impossible. It is possible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You just need the right pieces to make it.
Yeah,
But it's still
Make it
slightly harder in our team because of there's a slight communication
barrier and stuff.
There's like a difference in like I wouldn't say like game IQ, but it is game IQ difference between like Ban and like Primmie.
Yeah.
no, it's huge.
It's
But
a
also,
huge gap.
Crazy gap.
Yeah, but also, and it's a two-way street. It also is gonna have to deal with, Primmie's gonna have to understand that, okay, I there's a play that you want to make, Primmie, but also maybe let the IGL have you make that play, but it might be not the exact way you want it to,
I think
go down.
Cruz,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think if I'm gonna give any criticism to Cruz, I've already said this, so I don't give a fuck if like people see this or hear this, right? But Cruz's big problem is his assertiveness, because
Oh, you were
Yeah,
talking about
that's his
this.
real issue.
Yeah,
he lets people take over the comms and stuff, right?
Because
Yeah.
if he has conditioned something and in the game plan on a specific round in a specific scenario that came up, he sees something and he knows, we actually have something for this. If you see these things, these conditions, this is what you should run because of everything we've set up before, and they're gonna bite on this, and you're gonna get like the defense to move, and then you're gonna get an easier time on the bomb side or whatever.
And then Peter calls like a B rush or something.
Yeah.
He'll just completely go, "Are you sure? All right." And then I'm like, "Mother."
Yeah.
So I think what you're saying is actually a strength of his currently. Actually, I think the downside to what you're saying is that this also requires an assertive IGL, because if you're going to make that timing play short, that means I need to shift my defense over. That means the breach. Let's say you run standard.
Yeah.
The breach that's B link or A link has to now go to target or like C link.
Yeah.
And then the defense has to shift. And the Sova that's supposed to be with the Jet now has to be the defender there. So you have to shift everyone over.
Yeah.
Poise needs to be able to do that quickly,
Yep.
right? And then he needs to know, if the Jet dies, here's where we're going to, or here's how we're going to play retake. Sova, you can't watch ET. You got to go heaven fast.
It's micro.
And then someone, right?
Heavy micro.
He has to be able to do that
Yeah.
fast, right? I think currently Cruz can do that pretty efficiently. I think there are other problems. Obviously, I can't talk about those now.
Yeah.
But the one that I have already said that I've talked about is specifically his assertiveness. Because even if he feels like there's an 80% chance that his play is correct, he's going to let the player like do his thing.
Yeah.
And this is a problem I've always had with players also, because I've had players on previous teams that have been like this. And my response to them is basically shut the fuck up. Like, let him do his job.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, yeah, but
And
we
you
have
have
this.
to sometimes.
I'm like, brother, I don't even want to hear it. You don't even study it. So this is where people think I'm a jerk, because to me, if you don't show up to our pregame meetings, if you don't know what the fucking game plan is, if you're not there for the anti stuff, don't fucking give me input on the game plan.
Yeah.
If you want input, you know the time we're gonna meet, you know when we're gonna talk, you know exactly what the documents are on Discord. You study that, you know that, you come to me, say, yo, I want to install this. Why? Because on page 3, you got this, you got da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, now my energy is different. Now I'm like, oh shit, okay. So why do you want to do this again? But don't fucking tell me you're about to change shit randomly in the game when you haven't showed up to any pregame practice.
Yeah.
Like that has always, and I think will continue to forever be my issue, is players have these instinctual like gut check calls, but it's not off of data, and it's not off of even analyzing things that they have seen. It's, my dick's big, I think I can make this play. I just want to do this. And that just doesn't compute with me.
Yeah.
Like, so that is not a problem that I think we really have on this team, luckily.
Gotcha.
But that has been, I think, a pervasive problem in most of the teams I've been around. That's why I brought up earlier how these players fuck with each other and they're smart and everybody gets along. That's actually not typically a problem I have here, but it has been an issue with me and Governor, which I don't have any problem saying. Yeah. This has been a problem with Governor, and I've yelled at him like that, and then he shows up now.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you want input, mother effer, show up, and he's like, okay, so now I'll sit here and listen to this. I'll,
And it's never gonna be something that like is bad for the players either if they show up for all this shit.
No,
like,
but
you're
it's
only
more-
gonna get smarter.
No, but it's more work. That's the problem. It's more work. They
I
have
know
to wake up early.
people are lazy. I know.
That's
Especially esports players are lazy. I used to be like that when I was younger. I used to just rely on my aim. I know.
Dude, I used to get on players. I won't say the team that would wake up. Their hair's disheveled. They show up to practice, and I'm like, "You just woke up, right?"
I hate that.
These guys
no routine, no anything.
That's just
You're not getting in the
nuts.
mindset. Yeah.
And then I'm an asshole for yelling at them, like, dude, this is not what being a professional is. You get up, you eat, you do all your stuff, because then in the middle of interview, they're the ones pooping.
Yeah, or ordering food, or
I'm like, nah, bro, you get that shit done before you fucking come to practice. I know.
How did you not already order your food, bro?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? I know, dude. Yeah,
I'm not even gonna call out Ban on this, because Ban, I think, is #1 pooper, bro. This guy has the most inopportune poops for like 30 minutes, bro. He be unleashing the dragon, bro. I'm like, Ban, bro,
we'll start VOD review, and like he's like, can you give me 5 minutes, bro?
That shit turns into 30. I'm like, man, bro, why you do me like this, bro?
Bro, I used to have some code browns, bro, and I would have to hop in on my phone because I don't want to miss anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes Joseph does do that.
used to get heated for me. I'm like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. For some reason with me, it would just be like, whenever I need to do something important, all of a sudden I gotta take a shit, bro. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Bro, I hate that shit.
Dude, it's so annoying.
I literally
I hate it, and I'm the one that's doing it. But it's like, I can't control it sometimes, you know? I'm like, shit. Jaden would get so pressed. I'd be on my phone. I'm like, dude, I'm not doing it on purpose. I promise. I'm not that guy.
But there's like a double side to that, because the other side is a lot of them are also playing ranked till like 4 a.m. So it's like
they're grinding. They're grinding. Yeah.
So it's not like they're doing the wrong things. Like, it's not that they're going out clubbing. I'm not going to mention, other NA players that have been in trouble for doing this. But like, my guys don't do this.
Not me, by the way.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows. I know my stigma is I'm a big, huge partier, bro. But I'm very professional when it comes to matches and everything. Trust me, I love to fucking party. Don't get me wrong. But I would never take a sip of alcohol 2 weeks before any match I had.
Fair.
Boom.
Right, bro.
Because I knew if I had a drink, bro, it would slow me down for at least 2 weeks.
On the flip side,
it's just how my body works.
Yeah, I could say this now because like it doesn't matter. But like one of the biggest arguments with Simple and Markelov was that, because on flip side, Marek would sometimes get loose.
Europeans just drink.
He would wake up to practice and he's not feeling well. Everyone knew what a hangover is.
Yeah.
Simple would be like, nah, fuck that, bro. He was like 16, 15, like, bro, what the fuck is this? Like, bro, you gotta be ready for practice. And then like they'd argue because he's like, bitch, I'm a goat. What the fuck you talking about? So yeah, like you'll be surprised how long this has been an issue in gaming and esports. I think society has shifted now to where most young people don't even really drink or do drugs now. Like my age group was all about that shit. This age group, I feel like they don't have many.
They just grind.
Yeah.
I see that.
So
I also think that's also because of COVID.
Fair point.
Yeah.
A lot of these kids that kind of came out of nowhere, like Ban's actually a good example. He didn't start playing until like COVID, basically.
Yeah, Ban's
and then he just got cracked.
Insane, bro.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
but he was still good though.
He was.
But then
I see what I mean.
I see. Sorry,
he didn't come from like a party era or anything like that because everybody was forced to be indoors.
Yeah,
that's why there's a lot of Zoomers now.
Yeah, his whole pro experience was during COVID.
Yeah. That's trippy.
Because you know how like so Valorant's like probably one of the few games because it's such a younger, age group game where like I go in Valorant, I can get shit on by anybody.
Yeah.
You good at Counter-Strike though? If you're good at Counter-Strike,
you're good.
Nobody, even if you just troll, you can still shit on people.
Yeah.
Like if that guy's a noob, he will not have a chance versus you. You know what I mean?
Facts.
But in Valorant, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I'd argue positioning matters so much more in Counter-Strike because here you can flush people out.
I mean, Valorant's definitely more like noob friendly too in terms of like the actual mechanics and gameplay.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to strafe stop in this fucking game. Yeah. It's weird, bro. It's actually one of the weirdest things that you can tap the key and be active. My brain can't do it though.
Yeah. Like
even though I know it's better, it's more optimal.
Zero acceleration. Like when you let go of the button, the instant stop to zero is
weird.
So weird.
It's so fucking weird, man.
So weird.
Anyways, we'll move on from that. Now we'll talk about some random drama and bullshit in the scene. Artist was the #1 biggest hater of Asian teams ever. I think I saw a tweet that he posted. He was like, no Chinese team is gonna make it out of this. Like they're all shit. And now he's the biggest stan.
I agree
ever, bro.
Yeah, we agree.
If this was like 4 months ago, I would agree with him.
Yeah,
but obviously we have the most experience playing against them, and I think
I didn't think that they would either. To his credit, I didn't think so because I especially thought we were going to 2-0 Lev.
Yeah,
and then we'd play them, and we know Trace a lot. Like we knew they were good, but we knew So like, yeah, it's very shocking because their path to get there was so unusual. You know what I mean? But who cares? They did it. They deserve it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of funny. He was shitting on us. I was getting, bro, like, me and him were in DMs, and I was just laughing. I was like, bro, I don't care, bro. It's all good. Like, blah, blah, blah. That shit is funny as fuck. He's hilarious.
Dude, he's funny as hell.
He was shitting on us so much, bro. He's shitting on, bro. The funniest thing was the video where Primmie, someone made a video of Primmie, and the first highlight they show, he's whiffing.
Oh, okay.
And artist sees it. Oh, he's cooking up. If you guys ever see that video is so funny. So yeah, but he's fucking hilarious. Now I understand why now the Chinese. From my knowledge, he was hearing the Chinese anthem on stream, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, he was playing it in like the final winning round and everything, bro. That shit was funny as fuck, bro.
He's too funny, bro.
No,
that guy
he's
is a
hilarious.
fucking gem.
Dude, even like his old shit when he was like, "I'm walking on water," all this
Bro.
shit. You guys remember that clip?
The funny
Bro,
thing
that
is-
was one of the most unbelievable fucking clips I've ever seen in a
Yeah.
player, and I wanted him on my team
Bro.
so bad on FaZe.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let him go, bro. What was it? What was he on? He was
FPX,
on
right?
Guild or something.
Oh, Guild.
He was on Guild, I think, right?
Yeah,
and
you're
they
right.
actually won like a fucking tournament.
Yeah, they had safe too.
Yeah. But I wanted him, and I remember like I was talking to him at that time, and he was like, "Dude, my team's so fucking shit, all this stuff." And this is like when we were doing our rebuild on FaZe, and like he was really.
You know what's
gung-ho.
funny is if you listen to artists a lot and the shit that he talks and says, that's basically my VOD reviews.
Yeah.
Like to Peter, especially.
Yeah.
Like the Peter.
It's the
Van.
bluntness. Yeah.
Oh, bro, it's my VOD reviews. But the thing is, he's like so much more likable than I am. It's like insane. Because I genuinely, even when he's shitting on us, I laugh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
because he does it like lightheartedly, you know. It's
Yeah.
like he does it like
Hector.
where it's funny.
Hector, I'm gonna say this, bro. He has aura, bro.
Oh shit!
That's true, bro. That's true.
Hector, you
bro.
have negative aura, bro.
I do have negative aura, bro. It's unlucky, bro. Not everyone can be blessed, bro.
Right. 100 Thieves got rid of Mike's. Some other news in the NA side. Obviously, 100 Thieves, you know, they probably should have been here. They
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened to them in stage 2.
effed up.
Yeah, because
I think they felt the effects of, you know, going to Shanghai and then coming back and everyone was, you know, watching them the
ready.
whole time and shit. Yeah. I think that's the main thing.
not worth it.
And then also
Yeah.
they did just choke. Honestly, like they did just
100%. That was
Like-
that was a massive gag job.
And that's not a dig to crew at all. Like you
No.
still have to be able to take advantage of teams that are choking. So
Yeah.
you know, executing is very important. Who are they gonna get? Who the fuck knows? I'm sure they're hoping that they get Sean back.
They probably don't even think they need anybody.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know enough about that situation nor Mike's.
You guys are both on 100 Thieves. You know, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, I got no comment.
How do you feel about how do you feel about, you know, how 100 Thieves did and stuff like that, just from the outside?
for this season,
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, I was very impressed with their stage 1 performance.
yeah, that was sick.
I honestly didn't expect for them to be good that fast because like their addition. Because I know like Dan EU is really good,
Yeah,
but I didn't think they would mesh well together until stage 2. But they proved me wrong. But again, I think after Shanghai, you know, they didn't really have much time to prep new stuff. So but I thought that they could do it again with the
Yeah.
short amount of time. But yeah, it's
I feel like that's like a
a
whole
bit
other.
underwhelming though.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a whole other conversation that we could have. It's like
Yeah.
peaking early on in the year
It's
rather
always,
than
it has a
later in
negative
the year.
impact. I feel like if
Right.
you
But
like
that
early.
only happens. This is the only bit of free advice I'm going to give people about this. That only happens when you're running the same comps and doing the same things for the whole year.
It's Sentinels. It happened to Sentinels too.
But when you
And
aren't,
just now when they're trying
when
to
you
switch
aren't like
it up,
trying
But-
stuff or innovating.
it's
Yeah.
but it is what it is. And some of those people probably don't even care about that. Like they just don't care about innovation. So, I mean, it is what it is.
and I think as well, and this is why I credit you a lot as a coach, is like you think long term. You know what I mean? Like I feel like this game is so recency biased that a lot of people feel like they have to be amazing like all the fucking time, like right away. But it's like anything that anybody truly cares about and remembers as pros, at least. I know like fans are a different story.
Yeah.
But at least as a pro, all that matters is champions, and we've had this conversation a million fucking times.
I'm
Yeah.
using comps and
Yeah.
ideas that I had back when I was on 100 Thieves.
Yeah,
Even this year. But I got the people and the players that are open enough, and obviously, like the game. I mean, I also think I just have just a different group, but like, yeah, I mean, but yeah, if I'm running the same default comps, and I'm still doing the
People
same
are going
things,
to catch on.
if Cryo's still
Yeah.
in the same spots,
You also gotta
what do
think
you
about
like, bro. We get paid too, bro.
Yeah.
This is the thing I like. This is the shit I bitch to Cruz about all the time.
yeah,
Like, yes, they're gonna anti you, brother. Of course.
that's their job.
Literally, that's what they get paid to do, to stop you. Like, it's just like, so we either have to continue to reinvent ourselves with these comps and come up with new things,
Or anti yourself.
anti ourselves,
Yeah.
or
Which you should be doing anyway.
just anti their comps
Yeah.
and just go,
Yeah.
what are they running? Okay, do we have something that's strong against it? Yeah, we do. We got like, small argument is I think the meta comp, even with Deadlock, I think the meta comp on Ascent gets bodied by the zombie comp, and I could get into the literature as to why, but
Well,
it just
we'll let
does.
you guys figure that out.
But
we don't want to give you free stuff.
It just bodies it. So it's like, okay, cool. Like if you want to just run that comp, like, okay, cool. How does your jet play? Is your jet like Leaf or Ospas, where it's basically mid 1, mid 2 the whole time?
or
And Cat?
or do you play like texture where you're CT spawn, A heaven?
Right. Or are you a B main guy? Are you a B main long op line on B, potentially A or wine? Like how do you want to play this? Because if so, we got a comp that is good against all of that. It's like, okay, we know what to do, we know how to do it, we know how to stall it, we know how to prevent it from like being a problem. That doesn't mean we're gonna win every game because sometimes we
you
just
still got to
fucking-
execute. You still
we
gotta
throw
execute.
5 rounds in one half on Ascent against fucking
Yeah, but the comp puts
Lev,
us in a good
unlucky.
position to
Right.
deal with it.
So it's like
Yeah.
if you just want to run the default comp on Haven for 2 years, sure. I have all the evidence I need about like what your tendencies are. Now you just build a game plan around this specific team and you have all the tools in your disposal to stop all of the things I mentioned with the Jet.
Yeah.
Right? Now, you want to run like Loud did earlier, you want to run Phoenix with kind of a traditional standard comp. You want to run single Yoru. Like I think who's the team? It's
was-
an Asian
it-
team. Asian team that we scrim runs Yoru solo on that. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of
think
Yoru solo.
Loud tried it as well.
Yeah,
They
did
tried to
try
solo
it.
Yoru.
But like
Stuff on
those,
Ascent,
those
yeah.
are different things because it's like, okay, people don't run that as much. So it's like now you got to think a little more about. But if you are a team that is well versed on all the agents in the game and you can play them,
Yeah.
then it makes your life easier because all the tricks you know.
You identify like
You know,
the win
okay.
cons. Yeah.
It's also
Here's the best lines for his TP. Here's where his best one-way flash is. Here's what he's gonna do. You just stay away from the
you
area.
also reminded
Same with
me of
Deadlock.
like when you were on Furia, you brought out the Harbor Viper
Harbor
comp.
Viper?
Yeah,
Oh, God, I
and
love
that
that
beat
comp.
pretty much every standard comp in
Yeah.
that current
God, I
meta.
love that
Yeah.
comp so much, bro. I'm such a hard
And I
fan.
still think it's good.
Yeah, it's still good.
Yeah.
It is still good.
Yeah, the Harbor Viper, especially against Fnatic, works because of all the things I mentioned. But nowadays, look, what's good about Harbor Viper is that going through the slow is a massive problem when you're. It's not the first entry. It's not the jet that's the problem. It's the reinforcements, the flood becomes not only slower, but their fights are weaker because you see them like you already have angle advantage. Let's just say we're on A, and we do a harbor wall to stop heaven and lower, right? And you come through CT. I already have angle advantage on you if I'm short, right? Like if I'm like either in sandwich or like
Yeah.
lane, I already have angle advantage. But now you're even slower. So now I can actually just spray and have more success because you can't just like.
Yeah, you can't do the crazy movement in this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
jiggle
So
shit.
It's like once you're through, and then
Yeah, it's like
if
those,
you're not, then you're
it's those
cooked.
small
The character's so-
things.
yeah.
so nice.
No. Harbor's so good, but it's like it's those small things that like, oh, this team likes the flood. We got something for that.
Yeah.
That's what made that character and what still provides strength to the character now, even in this meta. I know everyone has gone off of it, but yeah, man, if you're a fast flood team, that Harbor Viper is gonna fuck you up. But if you're like heavy execute, blah 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 blah, and you have a plan for it, yeah, you could bypass all their shit.
Yeah.
But it depends on like the style of the team you're playing and you know how they play and what they do that determines whether or not it's like stronger to run XYZ. I hope we last long enough in this tournament and don't continue to throw games because if we do, you're gonna see a lot of cool shit on Haven, especially from us. But
Yeah.
like I'm excited for people to see that.
We
stuff.
still have way more than what we even have now. Like
Yeah.
we just need to get through.
Yeah, like I'm ready
it's
to
all
actually go to
execution,
grand
yeah.
finals. Like
Yeah.
and in
Yeah.
grand finals, I don't give a fuck who we see. They're gonna hit with the sauce, bro. You don't even understand. We're gonna get hit with the sauce. Actually, so funny because it changed. So what happened in our group has fundamentally changed how we're going to think about the rest of this tournament.
It was very unexpected.
Yeah,
Like,
but because of that,
shit, man.
it has even changed our philosophy on like when we show these comps and when we do these comps.
Yeah.
So it's like really interesting how
You
like,
have game
that's
plans
worked out.
going into the actual tournament, and you have to change it up
because it's like
you have protocols for the bracket, bro.
we have protocols for the types of
literally,
teams we play.
literally,
Yeah. So it's just like so funny how like you can
That's
manipulate,
fire, bro.
but you need really smart players. You need very adaptable players.
Yeah.
And you also have to have a high. It's not just having smart play. Like Cruz is smart because he can absorb a 36
page document.
for like a comp,
Damn.
right?
That's tough.
But he's a collegiate graduate, right? This is what people don't understand. So he's not a fucking idiot. Like if you actually speak to him, he's a highly intelligent person. But having high intelligence doesn't mean high game IQ, right? So you need high game IQ and the ability to handle all the variables,
The
and know-
workload and everything. Yeah.
That's a unique dynamic that we have on this team between him and Band specifically. That they're able to do that. Band's another one because when he was in NA, I thought he was a brain dead fuck. He knows.
Yeah, because he was just
He knows.
back
Bro.
then. He was the Jet and Sage One trick.
I think I
Yeah.
remember that.
I didn't
yeah.
see Band coming. Band is one player for sure.
I
I know I was wrong.
I
about.
actually convinced him, like,
Yeah.
yo, Band's the real deal.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't know about him either.
Even
I'm
in
not
trials,
gonna
I
lie.
didn't want him, bro. I did not want him, bro.
Nah,
This is what I mean by
I
like
told him, bro.
the credit for the roster composition starts with Aaron because he first identified that the pair would work.
Yeah.
And I was like, having two duelists. He's like, look, Band played smokes on T1.
He did look good on Viper.
I'm sure he'll play.
it's not even the okay. I'll explain my reasoning though. It wasn't really because Joseph or Band can play smokes. It's just when I talk to him about the game, and I go back and watch like his Jet, and I'm like, oh, he's pretty fucking intelligent.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew immediately. Like after one day of doing tryouts with him, I was like, Hector, you got to get Joseph. No question about it.
Yeah.
And then when Joseph was like, I want to play with Governor, then I was like thinking, okay, let me go research Governor some more. So I pretty much did his job for him basically, where I did all the inside research because I played with them in server.
Yeah.
And I was just testing them basically
Yeah.
as the
Fire,
IGL.
bro.
Because I brought these players to trial just because, like, you know, I asked Lakia, who's down with Gen G, like, you know, I just
Yeah.
wanted to see the thing. But what I didn't foresee is, to me, Band was a duelist. Then I look at on Furia, we play Band. Everyone was afraid of T1 last year going into kickoff. Everybody was getting scrim fucked by them. They were destroying everybody. Then we come in there and beat the snot out of them.
Yeah.
13-6, 13-5. I went in there and fucking cooked them. Barbecue chicken, right? I see Band.
I'm about to say that on cast today, bro.
You should.
Bro, I see Ben after the game, and I'm like, sorry, bro. Like, it's all good. Like, I'm talking to him. He's like so hot and pissed. I'm like, bro, you guys are just ass, bro. like, it's okay, bro. Don't worry about it. You'll get better, bro. Like,
Maybe next year, kid. Maybe next year.
Pretty much.
And we're here next
This
year.
is what I was saying. So,
But that's what it starts with, though. You gotta accept that
Yeah.
where you are, you know.
yeah, because
You
I
know
told
what
him,
mean?
I was like, look, bro, here's how we cooked you. Because they were gone. So it didn't matter that I told him. I was like, bro, you guys
Yeah.
got to work on this. Because I just bullied. At the time, I don't really care. We bullied Carpe, like, a lot. Because he's an Overwatch
He was
player
new.
like you.
He was new and he wasn't ready.
So I knew he wasn't going to know.
He was not
bro,
ready,
my
bro.
whole shit was, bro, we're going to fuck this guy up. We gave him a healthy dose of DGs
I
in.
know.
That shit was free
I know.
99, right?
I always knew he had good aim, and I knew it would take
Yeah.
him time to get good. And to be fair, I think this year he looked
No, for sure.
pretty good
He was
this
going to
year.
get better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, even
But
Ben
you
says,
identified your win time, bro.
I was like,
You're
bro,
so
this
good
guy's
at
ass.
that. Like you're really good at identifying win
But we
conditions.
fucked Ben the process, bro. He played retake. Bro, Ben was playing retake
Yeah.
simulator the whole game. He couldn't
Yeah.
even play, right? So that's
Yeah.
what I was like, listen, bro, you guys are just ass. It's not your fault. I literally made you play retake simulator the whole fucking time. Don't even be discouraged about this. Like, it is what it is. Your team's going to get better. This is the conversation I had to have with him, right? So then when I see him on our team, I'm not even thinking, then I see him in game with us. I'm not even thinking like about what Aaron's thinking about, because I'm still looking at this guy like a fucking duelist, because I'm thinking,
Yeah.
okay, he was on T1, the team was fucking like okay, or I thought they were ass at first. They got okay.
Yeah.
He made champs. He got experience, but it's a revolving door with him position wise, right? So they must not have. Saya must be better than him at Duelist,
or else why would they have made this choice?
Yeah.
Right?
Which makes sense.
They didn't like him on Sentinel because they moved someone else to Sentinel. Then he became Smokes, and he was kind of average. So at the time, I'm falling under the same spell that I criticize other people for, right? Because I'm thinking there must be something I don't know about why they think he's ass.
Yeah.
So I see him in trials. He does not blow me out of the water, but Aaron is impressed with him. But he's impressed from the calm, the information that he's getting, right? Like
The intangibles.
right.
Yeah.
Intangibles. Sorry.
Intangibles, sorry. Intangibles.
It's okay.
No, you're good, you're
Intangibles, right? So it's all that stuff that I'm not seeing on paper, but I'm already thinking, bitch, I got Cruz, I got Governor, I got Aaron. I'm not worried about, like, I don't need someone to be that guy. I need to know where my kills are going to come from. Who can I put in these spots, right? This is not what I'm seeing from Ban, because I think he was playing KO, right?
He was playing KO and
On trials, right?
Yeah, KO
so
and Viper.
So I'm not seeing this yet, right? Weeks go by, because we had like a month trial, actually. Like, I had a lot of people.
Yeah,
in.
you told you talked about it on the last
Yeah.
one where you're like you wanted to trial Primmie for longer but you couldn't.
Yeah. So
it's
then
like-
I eventually saw it. But yeah, like Aaron's right. At first, I'm like, it's either him or Gov.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was the big one that was like, no. Trust me. Yeah. It should be him and Gov.
Yeah.
And then by the third week, I was already like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
It clicked it.
But it goes to show, like, I could be stubborn and I could be a douchebag and just be like, no, bitch, it's my team, my opinions. That's just not how
And
I
also-
rock.
Yeah, but you
It's
came
just-
around.
We also knew that
It's not how I
Governor, the
rock.
Governor was a good choice because he has the pop-off potential because
Well, he knew what I wanted to do with Neon this year.
Yeah.
Bro, Neon has been the
yeah,
best
Made
agent.
sense.
I already knew that Neon was already good, but it's also because
From release, she was.
I mean, I'm going to talk about the scrims and
Yeah,
trials
go for it, go
because
for it, go for it.
when Governor was trialing and we scrimmed like Paper X, which is on paper one of the best mechanical teams in the world.
Yeah.
He was dropping 30s on them in scrims.
Free.
And that's how I knew, like, okay, this kid has pop-off potential. He's very smart. He has good agent pool, and he meshes well with Ban. Why not?
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's why I brought him here.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was going to be a competition between him and Ban. I
Yeah.
didn't see.
Pick one or the other.
I didn't see the flexibility that Aaron saw right away.
Yeah.
Also because part of it was I already had Aaron.
Yeah.
So the curveball he gave me
Yeah,
was
because you were gonna play. Yeah.
the curveball he gave me was, nah, bro. I think this is the best team, and that might mean I'm out.
Yeah.
But this is the best team.
Shit.
And then I'm like,
For what for what Hector likes to
For the
do
vision.
he likes to do all this, like, he has a good idea and I want him to be able to go through with any comp and any idea he has. And I was like, Joseph is able to do that, trust me. And he obviously
he was right.
he was very stubborn on, like, oh, he's a jet one trip, blah blah blah. And I was like, listen, bro, he can play anything. And I look at Peter, he can play any duelist, trust me. And that's why
He
I
can.
think that's why it works
Yeah.
out the way it does.
yeah, because I coached Peter, so I knew. That's why I
Yeah, you already knew him. Yeah.
But
I didn't even
Ban-
know. Yeah, I didn't even
Ban
know.
was the
you were
missing link.
coaching that
Like
team.
Ban was the one that I didn't understand, right? And I probably would have fucked that up if it wasn't for Aaron, and it just worked out because
super fortunate that he has the citizenship as well. Because then you would have had to make the choice one or the other. right?
another thing
Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought he was T1's import last year, so that's why another reason. Oh, that was another
That's
reason.
why I
not-
told you too. I was like, listen,
A lot of people thought that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
that was another reason why I was hell bent on no because you know.
Yeah, you got to pick one or the other. Yeah,
But yeah,
you,
but Aaron correctly was like, nah, dude, you're looking at this wrong.
yeah, he's got dual
I was like,
citizenship.
all right. I'll look. And then over time, it just worked out, and I'm like, yeah, good job, Aaron. Like, I mean, it worked, right? Like,
Hell yeah.
like I can't get them always right, but this is also why you have to have like smart, intelligent people around you that are also different, and I'm arguably most different. But yeah, this is
But
why
you-
like
at least you
'cause
take
me
other
and Aaron.
perspectives in too, though. Like, that's a big part of
I mean, that's
you
probably
know that's
part of
ego, right?
But that's part of the
Yeah.
narrative that people probably don't get a chance to see because obviously I was never on camera before. You never got to speak to me, see
Yeah.
me before. All you heard about was the people that I didn't,
The
I guess,
negative
get along
shit,
with.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like in reality, I've never been like that. And I think not just because I'm here, I think you know this. I've never,
Yeah.
the moment I know I'm wrong, it's like,
Okay.
yeah, my bad. All right, cool. Let's do it. Like,
I'm the same way. Like
Yeah.
I'm willing to have like a debate about my opinion on something. But yeah, if you give me like good evidence that I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
this makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll lean over.
And I'm
At first I'm one of those where I can get like hot headed at first in the beginning.
Yeah.
But I always ease over.
I mean, same.
You know?
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
I'm also creative. Or sorry, I'm not an actual creative in real life. That's like my
Yeah.
sister, my mom,
Yeah.
and stuff. I'm like the opposite of creative. Like art, I don't understand. I've even take art courses in
So,
college.
the word you're talking about is innovator, then, not creative.
I mean, sure,
innovative, but like I'm creative. I may not have the creative sense. Like I can't look at a work of art and tell you why that shit is cool. To me, this is just fucking blobs on, right?
Facts.
Right.
That's shit Picasso right there.
Yeah. But I'm open to the idea of this being high, fine art.
Yeah.
Like I'm not like so like ignorant that I'm like I don't see its value. It's just that shit just ain't for me, bro. So if you come to me with a weird ass idea in Valorant, my initial reaction is never to be like, nah, it's just fucking stupid. Like 95% of the people I've met in Valorant, they're always like, this is fucking stupid. I'm like, wait, but why do you like this?
Give the pros and cons to it.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you my point of view on it.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, show me why it works.
A good example, triple Duelist and Split.
Yeah. Everyone shits on it. And when I saw his document, so he has a comp that I like and I want to run.
Is this a leak or?
No.
Nah,
it's fine.
So some context for last year on Talon is Foxy brought triple Duelist Split because they wanted to run it against DRX. So I made them a full like game plan, setups, everything, plays. Obviously, we didn't actually end up using it because Foxy didn't like it.
I see.
So it is what it is. But I showed him all the prep I had for it, and he was actually very impressed with it.
And we were going to run it.
Yeah.
It just never really happened. Like it never came to fruition. But like, because I understand that some comps you can't run over and over and over. They will never be meta. They'll never be default comps.
It's
That
like a one
doesn't
and done
mean-
or a couple and done every now and then, yeah.
If I'm about to play you and it matters, I hit you with the sauce.
Yeah.
Because you'll never expect it, and it will work if it works against your style or your thing or some weakness that we can exploit. Let's do it.
Yeah, we did that on FaZe last year when we were playing 100 Thieves on Haven, it was. We ran this like Sage Raze comp on Haven. And like it's funny because we actually ended up running into a mirror. 100 Thieves tried to do the same shit to us. So we both changed our fucking comps because we were running Neon nonstop because I was playing Neon like a maniac. Not last year, 2 years ago. Sorry, 2 years ago when it was like the Sean Garris and JDM shit, right? We both ended up switching to like this Raze Sage comp, which is like, you think of Haven, you don't think of Raze and Sage, bro. Yeah. You know, I mean, sometimes you'll see like a Raze.
The Raze was broken at that time. So
and
even we were running near the airport.
It was the Fade, Raze, Sage
Because
shit.
on A and C, you could do the silent blast pack where you can't hear it off the barrier wall, remember?
Yeah.
That's why it was so strong because
Yeah.
you could fucking catch people off guard.
Yeah.
The Sage was really just anti-flow.
Oh yeah, that
It
was
was cheese.
You guys had good
and,
comp.
and on attack,
It
we would
was a
just
good idea.
we would just get the spike planted, play the post plant. I would save my nade, bro. It was fire.
No,
and it worked
makes,
the first
it
time.
makes sense, yeah.
It worked
Yeah,
the
I actually
first
remember
time.
because you brought that up, and I was like, "How do you deal with the breach stun long A? It's the Raze silent satchel to bypass the
It's OP as
the
shit.
breach stun."
Yep.
Right? But but it requires a high mastery of all the characters to know, okay, you could do this. If a team likes to default a certain way, that Raze shit fucks you. Like especially the Fnatic smoke that they used last year that still
short
exists.
smoke?
Yeah, it's a short smoke.
Top short.
If Raze satchels weren't nerfed now, that I'm pretty sure Raze. If that Raze from 2 years ago is Raze now, she's meta right now.
They keep nerfing Raze, and I feel like, yeah, she was pretty strong, but like I don't know, there's so many weird nerfs. Like the Roomba nerf, I didn't get.
I still think the neon buff is a nerf, bro.
I don't like the neon shit. I don't like. Okay, I know that the ult is like nasty OP if you actually had shots.
Of course, now.
I get it, but I still don't like the damage fall off on it and all this shit.
Fair.
I don't like that they did any of that.
Her taking a stun
actually
away
hate
from
it.
her actually makes her worse. That's why now you see us use other duelists other than neon. I've been the neon guy for 3 years.
The double stun was so good, man.
It's
I was able to
OP.
use one off a barrier if I wanted to take
You have
like
2
garage
turns.
fast.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. 2 turns.
Like,
now you have to be very intelligent
Like-
with how you use it,
Yeah.
and even then it could be RNG, right?
Yeah, that
So
shit
it's
is-
like-
so it's not really a buff, but like I think she's in a good place. I think the ISO buff probably was overtuned, right? For sure.
Still good though.
But he's good now. He's in a good place now.
Still good.
You can
Still
use him
good,
now.
yeah.
I think-
Playable.
But here's the thing: I actually thought ISO was still good even before his buff. It just people
Same.
didn't
We wanted to use him, but
people
People were
didn't really
scared.
understand how to play it.
I blame Ban because Ban was like, "Nah, fuck that. I'm not playing." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ban, trust me."
because
Then he gets buffed and he starts with the shit. He's like, "Wait a minute, this is the best character in the game."
yeah,
Yeah, bro.
because I already told him about like the ISO shield, how even though your character is sticking out halfway and somebody shoots at you, it doesn't register, so like you wouldn't die. So that was a perfect counter to offers.
Yeah.
With the vulnerable, if you play like Sova or Raze with the combo, you just one shots.
That's why I liked your guys' comp on Icebox specifically. I love the fact that like if you're running against it, like and you know you're running against a Jet player that ops, you know it's gonna be amazing on attack. Not only do you have this fucking big ass wall like a cascade that you can go behind, but you have a shield
with
on top
with
of
a
it.
new buff with a shield. He's the
is
number one
nasty,
op
bro.
counter.
Nasty as shit.
Like if you play ranked and you know you're gonna play against a Jet, just play ISO.
Yeah,
Bro,
It is the most annoying shit.
I
ever.
will trade your life. You know why? Because if I have ISO ult, I just go, oh, she's here?
Yeah, and then you just run at
Give me that.
You just run at it,
I
yeah.
don't give a fuck. I'll
Yeah.
trade my life for yours, bro.
Yeah.
I don't
Even
give
if
a
you
shit.
beat me in the 1v1, my team's on your ass.
Bro, he's in a good place. I like stuff like that. I think the Raze ult nerfs are the ones that hurt us the most because Raze ult is so bad, and I feel like
It is.
this is why she's rarely
but,
used.
but they never actually like said that they nerfed it, but it's definitely fucking nerfed.
Yeah.
They never put it. Did they
There's-
ever actually put it in patch notes?
There's so many like
I swear.
nuanced things about
I don't
the
know,
ultimate.
but the hurt box is
Bro,
definitely
it
different.
makes no fucking
The
sense.
Yeah,
hurt
the
box
hurt
is
box is
less.
definitely
Sometimes the rocket randomly like bounces off of people. It
Bro.
like curves a bit.
Bro,
Like,
we have
I've
a
te-
clip
I've
that is
tested it.
legendary from Peter.
Yeah. No,
I'm in Mirage.
but even I've tested the rocket sometimes where it doesn't go where my crosser is. It'll like kind
Bro.
of sway. It like does it not have 100%
This is the way
accuracy? I
this
don't
is the way
understand.
I look at it, bro. You're putting an RPG, a nuke in a game. Let it be a fucking nuke. Let
Yeah.
it be a nuke.
Yeah.
Why? Like it shouldn't even chip you, bro. Like it should just
Yeah.
kill you. Like
Yeah.
straight up. Like, it's a rocket.
Increase the ult orb cost.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
down
make
to
it
even give
cost
it to
more,
like 9 or 10, but
make it
like,
usable.
already is.
Yeah.
It already is a lot.
Make
Like,
it
real
use-
shit, it's
make
already
it-
a lot. It's like
Yeah.
what 8 or 9 now?
Yeah.
8 maybe.
But-
It's 8. I don't
But
know.
make
Yeah.
it usable.
Yeah.
This is my problem. Right now, it's like, I mean, in kickoff, we beat DRX on split if the Raze rocket is a Raze rocket.
Bro,
he
I'm telling
lands one literally on the wall next to Stacks, and Stacks survives.
It only takes, like,
and
40
kills
damage
him,
only.
and Stacks is still alive, and he kills another guy. Stacks is dead there. We win the game.
It's so weird, bro.
It's that's unfortunate though.
They
But that
just-
comp was
they
good,
just
though.
hate Raze. Yeah, I like. I think
that comp was good.
I think we yoinked it from PRX. Maybe they were.
Yeah,
running
I
it.
think people. I said this. I'm not even going to comment on what someone sent me. Someone said about it, but I said in our in the middle of map 1 after Lev, I think people have become too inflexible with comps, bro. Every team is just
it's
copying others.
you
It's
wanna
like,
know why?
dude, you're not those guys. Bro.
I know why. It's because people are scared to innovate, and I think a lot of that has to do, especially in VCT specifically. This is why you see tier 2 teams innovate a lot more. Their season's a bit longer, right?
Yeah.
In tier 1, it's like what 9 matches, bro. It's
Yeah.
like people are scared because it's our jobs on the line, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not willing to take that risk, but. If you want to be the best, sometimes you have to. You know what I mean? Like you have to be.
Or sometimes it's your win condition. If you have played this map as a team for 2 years, and
Yeah.
this is you're gonna be better at this comp when I install it with the new squad. You're just gonna be better. You're
Yeah.
gonna know the nuances more. So we got to play to our strengths.
So yeah, let's get to the matches, man. So we'll just go by groups. We're gonna start with Group A. Group A is, one of the first games was Fnatic Billy. That shit was pretty
Free.
much a wash. Yeah,
Free 99.
A little freebie.
Yeah.
And then we had DRX Crew, and this is the game that we were talking about, like me and you privately in DMs.
Dude.
After the first map, I was already DMing Frost for everybody out there. I was DMing. I'm like, damn, bro, I told you if DRX fight fire with Crew, they're gonna get mobbed.
Nah.
And
Crew had a chance.
then Buzz warmed up, and it was GG. Like,
Buzz showed up. It is what it is. Like Crew.
Buzz is crazy.
Crew
bro.
had their chances, but yeah, DRX pulled it off. I was very surprised by the follow up. I did not think DRX was going to be Fnatic. I was very surprised by that. But it goes to show you.
I mean, I was telling Hector that I thought DRX was going to win.
Yeah, he actually did.
because Fnatic's style
I
does
didn't
not
agree.
deal well with the 5-0, 4-1 nonsense on attack.
The contact
and
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I knew DRX was going to pull something out, like a little gimmick pick or something like that, and they ended up doing it on Lotus, where Foxy now is playing Chamber.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't have a hot performance, but
Yeah, we were
Yeah,
on Discord.
everybody
We were
was-
watch partying on
Yeah.
Discord, remember? And we were like, dude, like,
Everybody, yeah.
and Fnatic has done interviews, and like you can tell that they just like didn't know how to handle the chamber. But
But the Chamber didn't do anything that like T1.
all he did was
Yeah.
just fight A on attack
That's what
every
I'm saying.
single
It was-
round,
Yeah.
and like he was just instilling Durka.
That's what I told you. Remember? So
yeah.
T1's plan for that was they were just double dogging Ban, and they took him out of the game. They
Yeah.
just literally sent the fade.
but you got to think about it, though.
just for him.
Yeah, but the util being gone from that is big.
Fair.
Yeah.
It could
Fair.
be, but the problem
Yeah.
is Fnac didn't even do that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So,
saying.
like,
Like they didn't even give
yeah.
themselves
They
a
didn't get to
chance.
that part, right? So it's like,
But I will tell you this though. This is something I've been feeling, and I've said this to you guys. I can tell the teams that don't watch other teams play.
Yep.
I already know just by like, even in our group, I could tell who watches other regions and who doesn't. And I feel like this is an example of like, it's not specifically the Fnatic one with the fade stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's very easy to tell in these cross-region matchups, like who's not ready for the other regions. Which to me is super surprising because of the obvious. We get paid to know. Right? Like,
you have to, yeah.
Yeah.
so, yeah, I'm just really surprised that they didn't know like how teams counter T1 because T1 is still, in my opinion, the best team to implement Chamber on Lotus. That doesn't mean it's good
Yeah,
or that
yeah,
I
yeah.
agree with it, but they are the best team to do it. And Chamber is certainly not a meta pick for sure, but he's certainly good enough to be picked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can make it work.
And T1 has the best implementation of it. And I'm very surprised because if DRX are going to use it as a comp, you would assume that they would lend, like they would borrow some of the concepts that a
T1.
team in their region
Yeah,
is
T1.
very good at using. And I know this because even when I steal someone's comp, like we stole
You stole T1's comp, no? Or no,
we,
Zeta's comp.
we stole Zeta's Heretics.
Yeah.
Like we are borrowing those comps. We're adding changes. We're trying to like, reverse engineer what their protocols might be, blah, blah, blah. So we have a better understanding of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But like in general, their blueprint is there. So if you watch Heretics at all, you would have seen that a lot of our Sunset early in the year was pretty much theirs.
It's funny because when we scrim against other teams and they're running like the Heretics Neon comp, we see the camera top mid. We're like, oh, it's the mid trap. Like, we already know.
we just
and then
know.
we see the recon. We see
yeah.
the Neon sign. Oh, it's Heretics A default.
Yeah, but it's so funny because you can just tell, and like
Some teams don't do that.
the analysts and the commentators, they aren't even aware. Like, I don't want to call somebody out, but there's an NA watch party guy that basically. I'm gonna give too much information by saying it because people will know, but I'll just say that someone was giving a team massive credit for their implementation of something, and I'm like, did you not watch NIP?
Yeah.
When they play, like, did you not watch like how other teams play Deadlock? But then it's like, wait, actually they don't. Oh fuck, that's true, because that's why Ryan Central is like,
Dude, he's awesome, man.
Oh, he's the best. But that's why
And he was telling us about Trace.
But that's why he's the like Western expert on China, and it's because nobody wants to watch it. No one had a clue. So that's why like guys like him like know everything compared to all of us, because most of the Westerners don't even watch Asian Valorant outside of PRX. And PRX isn't like Asian Valorant. They're basically Schmeeg.
I also
No,
feel
deadass.
like, I also feel like a lot of the times when people are just watching China, it's China versus China. So like you don't really get to see their true potential.
Fair.
Because there's such a gap in China right now where like you can't really tell who's actually really good unless you're scrimming them. And that's why I already knew that they were going to be good because we scrim them all the time.
Yeah.
And this is what I was saying as well. I was like Pansy and Steel came in late last night, and I just went down to just chill with them, just hey, what's up? But we were talking about, because we were watching the match, we were talking about it, and I was like, you know what? When you watch the regions play each other, it's like EDG is just like big broing everybody. But you don't know how these teams are going to fare on an international stage against other regions, right? Because this game, all games, even sports, is a game of matchups, right? Certain teams just have
For
your
sure.
fucking number.
And
so we didn't know how from the outside,
I understand.
even if you are watching all the games like you're saying,
Yeah.
and you're not
Yeah.
scrimming them, and you don't know how they actually play, and then what their play style actually is, you don't know how they're going to fare against the international
Yeah.
teams. And now that you see it, this is why you see like a Trace doing good against a Leviatán.
Trace has the
'cause
highest macro in China.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what
They're
I'm
the
saying?
only
Yeah.
macro team in China.
So they, that's what we were
EDG
talking about with
wins.
Ryan.
EDG is number one seed only because really
They
they're
know
just
how to play against
hyper
everybody.
aggressive and
They're like the
but-
paper
but
Rex
like-
of China.
Yeah,
literally.
but they're not
Yeah.
like they're not those guys.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they have a guy, but they're not those guys, right?
Yeah.
And like macro wise in tournaments, it's like I'm not gonna get into my soapbox about basketball and Valorant and CS, but like when I learned how the Eastern Europeans played Counter-Strike, especially from Blade and Blade, I almost had to teach them basketball
because he didn't realize that so much of the concepts that they have in CS
Was
are literally
relating to
basketball, right?
Like the
Outside
rotations,
defense.
the moving pieces.
It's all
and shit.
basketball.
Yeah.
And what I'll say is this: in the playoffs in basketball, the game slows down. So you have a team like the Indiana Pacers that likes to go up and down the floor. It's going to be harder to do that now when you're playing against Giannis, who's kind of also good doing this. But now you got like Lopez. Like now you have guys that are basically protecting the rim. So this bullshit isn't going to fucking work, right? The games get slower. So now you have to be in your sets and half court and all that stuff. It's like Valorant in general. The moment you start playing in playoffs, everybody gets fucking nervous. They're like assholes pucker.
Yep.
And now fast teams or slow teams.
Yep.
But if you're practicing all year playing fast and you come to these tournaments and you're not playing fast,
You're gonna get washed.
right? And I'll just say that, like, I think, ultimately the difference between, like, Trace and EDG, like EDG against G2. They dominated the icebox. They played their game. They played fast. Ken took a hell of a
They
lot
fucking
of peaks.
owned it. They owned that A site, bro.
And they
That shit
played
was nuts.
I think EDG played great. EDG played much better than I would have expected.
Even on that bind was close. It was like
Yeah, it
boom,
was-
boom, 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 boom.
The
For
whole
boom.
game,
sure.
neck and neck.
For
Yeah.
sure. But what I'm going to say is that EDG in particular, when it came down to macro, G2 was superior,
Yeah.
right? Trace, their whole game is almost designed for the elements that you'll face at a champs or deep in a playoff.
Yeah.
And a lot of these teams, coaches, trying to,
And they've been
whatever,
doing
never
that
been
since
here
day
before.
one.
Yeah, they never been here
That's
before.
why
They
we
never
knew that
qualified.
they were good. Yeah.
But that's why they're gonna eventually be one of the best in that
Yeah,
region, though.
exactly.
I promise. Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
if
for
that's
sure.
how they're practicing now, give them more
Yeah.
time when they're gonna because the skill gap will close.
Yeah.
It'll close.
No disagreement there.
Because
No
it happened in
disagreement
NA. Like there was a couple teams that the skill gap wasn't there, and now if you look at NA, it's like talent wise, mechanics wise, it's there. Like it's pretty.
No. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts, bro. Facts. But that's the. Yeah, now Billy got really lucky coming into even qualifying. For instance, I think JDG. I was shocked JDG didn't make
That's true, yeah.
Worlds.
JDG was actually like a...
JDG is legitimately good.
Been nice, huh?
JDG's good. Like, we'll talk about them again. If we go deeper in this tournament or if we get out, I'll tell you some stuff about how impressed I was specifically by China, which I don't want to say now because there are still teams we might play in the tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of going to keep that on the button now, but just remind me, bro, trust me, bro. But yeah, when you even look at Deadlock implementation,
They were one of the first teams,
NIP
right?
was the first one.
Or NIP was, okay.
Yeah. But NIP is a Chinese team, believe it or not. Like,
Yeah.
so like people are like, oh yeah, it's an NA comp. No, it is not, bro.
Nobody was even fucking considering
but-
on it.
but-
The only person that would have actually wanted to run it would have been Baby J. Inspire.
Yeah, fair.
But it's just because he was just trying to be cool and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like New Sentinel came out.
Yeah.
But if he was on a team, he would have tried to make it work.
Yeah.
But-
But like I'm saying, like
Yeah.
that's you can tell that they just don't watch enough. They don't understand
Yeah.
enough, and it's just unlucky.
I mean, Crew. Yeah. So Crew's probably gonna wash Billy. We would assume,
I think so.
and
yeah.
then it should be Crew versus Fnatic.
And that's gonna be another wash. Should be a wash
For Fnatic, right?
Should be a wash. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Anyways, Group B, we had Gen G decimating Sentinels, who
That
Sentinels.
was that group.
Dude,
is-
that group is crazy in the
Yeah.
first place, but yeah, Sen like, oh man,
I feel bad for
It
every
goes
team.
back
in
to
this
what you
group.
said earlier.
it's the
that-
beginning peak,
yeah.
right? And then like
Yeah.
they took too long to adapt, and now they're trying new shit, but it's just it
It's
doesn't
too
look
late,
good.
though. It's too late to try new
right?
shit.
They haven't implemented
Yeah.
it nice.
I think Gen G is just, in my opinion, they're just a better team.
Dude, Gen G's been so consistent.
Individual players, in my opinion, I think Sentinel still has an advantage.
Yeah.
The individuality and just the overall
But
dynamics.
it's not the individuals that makes you a championship team.
No.
It's-
For
I know.
sure.
For the matchup specifically, that's why Genji came out on top, because their team play is just
Yeah.
fundamentally sound.
It's so tough because man, like when I was watching Sen play, like in the whole off season going into the stage one, you know what I mean, and like into kickoff and everything,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, bro, like these guys, they finally figured it out. They finally did it, but they just did too much too soon.
I mean,
And they got burnt the fuck out. They
fair.
got
That-
burnt out hard.
that
But I was
also
talking to the
happens.
players after Madrid.
Yeah.
Like I was doing like content with them for Riot and everything, and like even they were like, dude, we don't even want to go to Shanghai, all this shit. Like, that's how burnt out they were.
No, for sure.
That's crazy.
Trust me, I completely empathize. We talked about it here. I
Yeah.
anticipated this to be the case.
Yeah, you did.
I knew the season 1
Yeah.
teams are going to
Yeah.
be dog shit season 2 because I've been around long enough. But bro, in CS, we were
That's
making
why-
majors in like 2014, 2015. Like,
That's crazy,
you know what
bro.
fucking year it is now?
That's like a decade ago, bro.
I've been doing this shit a long fucking time. So like,
It's also why Gen G struggled a bit in stage 1
right.
Yeah, I remember.
because it's after Madrid.
They kind of got lucky getting in, right? It was
Yeah.
like close to not making
Yeah,
Shanghai.
bro.
right?
They
it
were
was like one match away type shit.
They were
Yeah.
not cooking, and even season 2, they got beat by like, Secret,
Oh, who else? Who's the other team?
RQ?
RQ. Yeah, RQ.
That's what I'm saying.
RQ,
Like,
yeah.
Gen G is, in my opinion, and it goes back to, like, I gave everybody a hint because I don't give a fuck, like, now about, like, in Group B, I'm not going to, like, spoil anything because, like, it doesn't matter. This is, like, the most entertaining group, so it's, like, a little bit different.
It's
for us
gonna
to
be
have
great.
fun.
Even the match
Yeah.
today is gonna be fucking
But
great.
the thing is, Gen G is a team that's still, I don't want to say they innovate, and I don't want to say they don't innovate. They make changes to what they do routinely. The changes are not drastic, though.
it's not like compositions and shit. It's
no,
like
but it's
how
enough.
you're going into it.
But it's enough that
an
like
adjustment only.
Yeah, but they can steal rounds off of these little things, which are nice, right? It's like a very nice implementation of a counter to a counter, right?
yeah.
But Gen G does the same shit on every map all the time. Munchkin is just effective at like,
Picking the right moments to
changing
do it.
paces and tempos.
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
good, right? But what I'm saying is their style is better built for tournaments,
Yeah.
right? It goes back to like, you might scrim Gen G and think, man, this team is like average. Then you play them in tournament.
And they're
the game's
fucking
slow.
They're rehearsed. They're dialed. Yeah.
So-
the execution is on point.
Yeah, it's easy to like fall into the trap, based on the trace thing, right? It's like easy to think that like, oh, this team's really kind of like, meh, like how are they winning all this? And it's like, because some teams are better designed for tournaments, right? It's like PRX's style
That's
has never
why-
been built for tournaments.
That's why I love tournaments so much, man. It's like when you're in a fucking tournament setting, any team can go on a run. You know what I'm saying? But when
Yeah.
you have the week by week matches, you're only playing one match a week, bro.
Yeah.
And everyone has like a whole week to prepare.
That's my strength, right? That's just me as a coach. That's my strength. That's not other people's strength.
But you should have both. Like your team should be able to rally map like game by game, and then also you have the coach that can prep you for the week by week by
Yeah.
week by week. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
saying-
but that's our weakness.
Yeah.
That's like Talon's weakness. It's just, but the thing is, if you have both, you're championship level.
Yeah, exactly.
Most
yeah.
teams can't be that, right? So you have to figure out what your win condition is. Gen G is not the type that, once you figure them out, then it's a wrap. It's just, can you marry so your anticipation of Gen G has to be correct. And you need to understand what they do. If you can do that, if you can correctly predict what adjustments they're going to make off of, either your tendencies, whatever, blah, 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 what they're going to exploit. If you have that type
You have
of
a
game
solid
plan,
chance.
of course, like that's how you beat this team, right? Which I think fundamentally is why you're probably going to mention the Heretics.
Yeah, that's where we're going next.
They're a team that are 1-to-1, in my opinion, better. I'm not going to say, I don't know, but I'm not going to say who has a better coaching staff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I would say if I'm going to give anyone the nod, this is no disrespect to either, because I don't know. This is just an assumption.
Yeah.
I feel that Gen G is probably slightly more prepared for the matchup. But Heretics' individual creativity and skill, like Sentinels,
And being able to adapt on the fly
is
as
why
well.
they were able to steal those like 11-13s, right?
Yeah.
I mean, every map
That was such
close.
a close fucking
Yeah,
series.
every
Yeah.
map was close.
So,
It actually
so
could've
even
gone
if you
either way.
know what Gen G are doing, they're still so fucking talented that they could still make it like insanely close.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Because
They're
and
just
that's
fucking good.
and that's the marks of a good fucking team.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's why like when everyone is like Texture all year is he's the best duelist. I'm like, guys, it's not that he's the best duelist. That's the best team.
Yeah.
Like
that does.
and it's no disrespect to
Yeah.
Texture because
I mean,
I know he gets bothered by
Texture-
this. I saw him.
he is solid, but like when you watch
Yeah.
him play, though, he's not doing anything insane.
Yeah, Osmos is still
He's
the
just-
guy.
Yeah, he is.
Right? Like, but Osmos doesn't have this level of team.
He doesn't have the guys.
He doesn't have the guys.
Guys.
Right. And that's why I think Gen G is special
Whole
and why
lot of
they're
dudes.
You know, I was surprised that they lost. No, sorry, I think that's an incorrect word. I predicted them to be able to go through. But Heretics, I knew was a team that could win the matchup. I just didn't expect it to happen, but it did, and now it's like,
dude.
Now we're gonna get a Sentinels Gen G rematch.
You think?
I think,
you
yeah.
think? I don't
We
know.
think.
Man. I don't know, man.
Right.
Because
We'll
like I'm a huge FBX fan. I
No,
love
FPX
Yeah,
are good, bro.
I
FPX
love
are good,
the way
bro.
that they fucking play and approach the
FPX,
game, man.
X's and O's wise,
And like even them with Heretics, bro, that shit was so fucking
Yeah, it was
close.
kinda
no,
close,
that's the
yeah.
thing.
Are you kidding?
No,
Yeah.
FPX.
Same thing in Shanghai, 13-11, 13-11 OT. If Woot didn't get an ace,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
FPX that makes
It's
it through.
FPX that goes through.
Yeah.
No disrespect though.
Yeah.
I still think Sentinels has the individual.
To just step it up and like
Yeah.
not get Fugazi
Yeah.
by like the triple smokes.
I think the
and shit.
only team individually in this group that is better than Sentinels is Heretics.
I
think-
agree with that.
And I think
But
tactically,
the problem is like I agree with that if Sentinels are informed, but right now like
they don't look like
even
they're
like
informed.
Zekins, like he's been struggling, bro, and
Fair.
like he was like a
Yeah.
big piece.
No,
And
right.
same with Tyson.
Right.
Tens was like
Yeah.
fucking looking like one of the best smoke players in the game. You know what I mean?
But you know better than anybody. It takes one map, one match, one kill.
And then you just go, yeah, I know.
And if
I know.
that's the problem with playing Sentinels,
I
it's like, yeah,
know.
you think they're weak, and then
Give 'em a
one of
little
them
bit.
turns on,
Give them a
Yeah.
little bit.
and then it's just they're off to the races. They're gone.
That's facts.
Right?
So
Like we had
Yeah.
a small thing like that with Aspas, which we'll talk about when we get there. Where like Aspas was playing like dog shit, and then all of a sudden we give him a couple easy kills.
Oh, no, no,
gone.
no,
all of a sudden
Over.
we give
Dude.
King a kill.
yeah,
And
King
then-
too. Yeah, that
yeah,
whole roster,
yeah.
dude. So like, I'll never forget. Like I've been helping TSM with the coaching stuff, and they were playing against Aspas on Icebox, and it's practice, right?
Yeah.
These motherfuckers, bro. These motherfuckers kept running into him, and I'm like, I had to tell them. I had to pause. I had to tell them, like, listen, guys. You guys are just getting fucked right now. It was maybe like fucking 13-0 or something like it. And you still have 13 more rounds to play, right? Because this is scrims. I'm like, listen, for the rest of this game on your attacking side, or probably, it probably wasn't 13-0. It was probably like half
Yeah.
that, like 7-0 or something. I was like, listen, for the rest of this, you guys are going to need to practice this at some point. If a player is just going fucking nuclear on you, you need to be able to identify where he's at and just go the other fucking way. And listen, and if you get shit on, it is what it is, bro. But you need to be able to identify where Aspas or a player like Aspas is playing, because people get on heaters, right?
Yeah.
And ice them, you know? And icing them is fucking just, even if you're running into 4 players on the other side, you gotta do what you gotta do, bro. You have better odds going into that 4-player stack than running into that motherfucker that's getting a 3K every single time.
Sage advice, bro.
I mean, and I told him that, and like
That's been a thing forever.
they tried,
bro.
and at least they got something out of that practice. But this is how you,
John fucking Olsen, bro. We just don't get it, bro. I know. I try. My guys are just potatoes, bro. They just don't.
Yeah.
even when you're getting mollywop, bro, and you can't practice the way that you want to practice, and that could be because maybe you just woke up that day and like you're just playing like dog shit. You got to be able to get something out of it. So that's what I tried to tell him. So.
For sure. No.
Yeah.
It was great advice, and it's something that
I feel like that's just like a standard FPS thing in general. Because like
People don't think this way though. I'm telling you.
I don't know why.
My
I've been-
teams and shit. Like, dude, I
they
just
fucking piss their
recently,
pants,
I
bro.
just recently learned how to not recently, but like in the last like probably year and a half, I've figured out how to be efficient in practice, and I wish it was something that I had somebody teach me way earlier on, because I would have been so much better. Like I would have just kept skyrocketing, you know. But you know, it is what it is. Now that's why everyone out here watching, like, understand, you know, take game, take it all in, bro.
Yeah.
But okay, so we have FPX Sen, and then they have to play Gen G because Heretics won in the upper bracket. Send Gen G for who the decider
that's
would
what
be. That would be fucking hype.
That's
I'm
what
not
I'm
gonna
looking
cap.
forward to.
That'd be
but
fucking hype.
we'll see if they can get there.
Yeah, I'm casting that game today, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. I still think FPX has a chance.
Yeah,
They have
FPX is a really
so
good shot. I'm not
good.
saying they're out of it.
It
but
might be like a 60-40 or like a
They're so
55-45.
No, I definitely think,
For Sen, like
in
leading
my
towards Sen.
opinion, oh, no, actually, I think the other way. Yeah, I think FPX clear 60-40 to me. Tactically, they're better. They are more experimental with comps, which is going to throw them off because they're using the same.
How do you prep against
Exactly.
that team? It's tough.
You know, I think I still think individually, Sentinels is better, which is the reason why I think it's going to be a pretty close matchup. But I actually favor FPX.
Yeah, their comp is very interesting that they run on literally every map. Like some maps they have triple controller, double controller.
Dude, yeah.
And I don't know how Sen's gonna deal with that, which may give FPX that advantage early on, where and that gives more room for Autumn to shine and Life.
And Autumn's been great too.
Yeah.
Even in the last series, he's so impressive to me. Actually.
Lysor the GOAT, though. Lysor to me, I mean, him and
I
Autumn.
love Lysor. Lysor's such a nice guy, bro.
Yeah. Autumn is good,
Say
but
this
I
all
think
the time.
those are the two players for me that I think are the reason why, like, if they advanced, it's going to be those two.
And for Sentinels, I think they have to start off like shooting, bro. Like Zekin has to be shooting back because like the last series they played, it was only Saucy. Saucy was the only one that was like actually popping the fuck off.
All right, but like, no disrespect to Saucy, but if you understand the game, like, but he's also in the baiting position, and not that he's a
So
baiter,
overall, yeah.
but like he's doing stuff in the flow of games. For Zekin, it's harder. Like if you think of Ascent, they don't have flashes, so he has to ego check
and
everything.
He's somebody that you want to set up too. I think.
Right.
Like
So it's like I saw this stuff like, yo, like, free Saucy and all that stuff. And I'm just like, bro, people are just trolling.
Sachi?
Yeah.
No, I'm playing. I'm playing, bro. I don't want to go through this whole fiasco.
I know.
Sentinels just used to go back to their standard stuff. And
I agree.
And I feel like they would probably give themselves a better chance if they do that.
Right?
Maybe.
Be comfortable.
We'll see.
Like put them
Yeah.
on comfortability, and then that'll make the players actually perform.
I wouldn't even say it's like comfort. They need more of a balance. That's all it really is for like all the players.
True.
Like if Zekin has a little bit more support, Zelsis is able to provide the support. Like I think they're solid. And John KT, just let him do his thing where he's like
Keep him on Senti, bro.
keep him on Senti, let him lurk, let him do his thing on the IG role there. He seems comfortable in that, so
Yeah.
it's what they're good at. So
So yeah, we'll move to Group C now. I mean, you guys played live. That first map was within your grasp. You probably should have closed it out at least. You were up 11-9. I'm sorry, buddy.
Nah, we threw on
But
attack.
this has happened to you guys quite a bit throughout the season, though. It's always like the story where like you guys put yourselves in a spot to like potentially like have a lead in a series or even like close it out, and then it just a lot of micro mistakes because of individual plays that are trying to happen, or maybe it's miscomms. I mean, you guys would know more than I do, but that's what it seems like from my POV at least. So
we just got to get better. I mean,
yeah.
I keep telling our guys, like, yeah, we just can't. Teams are too good. You just can't help them beat you. 'Cause they're going to actually beat you.
Yeah, if you give a good team, like, okay, everyone in this league should be considered good, right? So,
Right.
like, we're at champs now, right? So everyone that made it is good.
Yeah.
So it honestly comes down to who makes the most mistakes and who maximizes on the
100%.
mistakes being
And
made.
we made the most. We threw 6 on bind. You said 8 on Ascent.
yeah.
We threw 5 1/2 on Ascent, by the way, which was mind-boggling. It's just like, bro, you can't win like that. You're never going to win like that, and you're just not good if you are. And that might also mean they need to be better coached, and I need to do better in preparation and all that stuff. But, like, ultimately, I mean, I feel like,
They're the ones playing.
yeah, I feel
They
like
have all the prep they need.
yeah, I feel like they
and-
did nothing that should have confused us, and
We killed ourselves.
yeah,
it's
know.
execution. You can only do so
Yeah.
much as like a coach, and,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's just on the players.
And the
to
argument
actually
is like-
implement it.
And I think the argument that's made is like, well, then you got to stop changing comps, like, because they're not comfortable.
No,
but then my counter argument to this has always been, but anytime you ask them, it's like, yeah, bro, we got it. Like, yo, let's do a walkthrough today. Nah, bro, we good. Don't worry about it. So what do you want to do then?
It's not
Yeah,
even.
let's do this. All right.
It's not even that. It's something to do with match day vibes. It's because like all the stuff, the mistakes that you see in match day, it's already happened in practice.
Yeah,
And we already know
corrected
the
it.
solution. We know the
corrected
answers.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know the correction, the answers. We have the resolution for it. But in match day, the same mistake happens. For some reason, the resolution wasn't correct.
Yeah.
So I think that's more of like a nerve thing, pressure
Yeah.
maybe.
Inexperience.
And Bind,
yeah.
I will certainly say was that. Bind was
Yeah.
like, wait a minute, he did what? Why did he die there? Because we've already corrected this
Yeah.
thing in practice. Like, yo, we're not supposed to do this.
Pretty much
Yeah.
every mistake that we made
On attack especially
was
was
basically already
crazy.
happened in practice. And we
The
already
calm
knew.
ult. So calm ults. It was like 11-9. He does an ult. We have a Yoru ult. We have a specific counter to this that we've
And we didn't do
drilled, talked about, and
Set
we didn't do
play,
it.
yeah.
And we didn't do it.
Damn.
And then he kills 2 in the smoke, and it's like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, bro, that's the worst part. Is like when you have guys, they're gonna do this with their ult.
You knew
it's
it was gonna
very
happen and you
predictable.
couldn't-
Here's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
If we have this ult, we're just gonna counter it in this way. Everybody's like, yeah, I got it. All good, bro.
Yeah.
And then you see it happen live, and it's like,
Yeah.
Wait,
it's like breaking a promise. It's like
did
we have
what?
we have a promise play, and then you broke the promise.
so
It's
that's
just
what I
match
mean by
nerves
like
and shit.
sometimes
Yeah.
you prepare them and they say they're okay, and then the result doesn't match. And to me, it's not even wins. If Ospaz dropped 35 and went off on us, that's one thing. But we basically did things specifically to limit that. We
Yeah.
did. He was
Yeah,
pretty.
he was-
no disrespect. He was pedestrian basically. in
yeah,
both
like
maps.
he was not a
pretty
threat
average,
versus us.
right? So
He
game
didn't,
plan
he,
wise,
didn't, he didn't drop 35.
yeah. So game
Yeah.
plan wise, it meant that like where we were going, the things we were doing
Was correct.
was correct.
Yeah.
But the ultimate execution of it is super poor, and that basically comes down to it's either my fault or their fault. And I have no problem taking the blame for it. It's just for me, I would just rather us not throw
Well,
rounds that I know
it's-
we need to close. You can't be losing 5v3s in champs.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
That's just
That's bad.
like so. I think ultimately we got what we deserve, and yeah, so it's just tough. But yeah, I mean, we're good enough to handle one seeds here. I was looking forward to the amount of one seeds we were going to have to play.
I know. Wait, were you saying you wanted to play? Was it Fnatic?
Yeah.
Oh
You
my
wanted to
God,
play
yes.
Fnatic?
Oh, that was-
Yeah. I mean, you might still have a chance, maybe.
No,
right?
no, no, no.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of already have in scrims. We'll talk about that another time. But
Yeah.
like, yeah. But they're a 2 seed now, so it'll be far before we get to that. But like, bro, all these 1 seeds, like all the teams here, like, I think the perception is that like, 1 through 4, the seeding matters. The seeding, I've been telling you this. The seeding does not matter.
No.
Right.
The 1 seeds are like, in this year at least, I feel like the gap between 1 and 4 is literally not even that big of a gap.
Yeah.
I would argue the biggest one would be probably NA. NA is 1 and 4, and that's just because Sentinels had just like a big fall off
I mean, sure.
in terms of form.
Sure, but even
they could
still,
still be
though,
a 1 seed, though.
But look at
Yeah.
us. We're Pacific's 4 team, and we should have 2-0 their 1 seed. Like, I knew, like, going into that, I mean, I already told you, I thought it was going to be free 99. And then when
Yeah.
you look at the bind, it's like,
You had a chance to at least get that one, right?
like,
You should have gone map 3 no matter what. No matter what, should have gone map 3, right?
and map 3, we'll talk about that next week.
Yeah.
Map 3, it is what it is. But, like, map 3, we have a lot of confidence because of what we did on bind to them.
Yeah.
So like we had a feeling that like, what we had prepared for that team was going to work, right? I told you what I thought about Zombie Comp as opposed to Deadlock and
Yeah.
Cypher or Standard.
Yeah.
So it just comes down to mistakes. But I think like if I said this in my post game, people asked me about what I thought about Lev's performance or like what I thought about like how good their, like the 1 seed was or
How
something.
they felt. Like, how did they feel in
And
the
I was
server?
basically like, if we're the 4th seed and they're the 1 seed, they have problems because that I feel like this series should have went the other way. So if I'm them, I'm concerned
And that's why Trace just kind of dismantled them,
Because-
especially on Ascent.
because I could see it. I'm like, we're supposed to be according to everyone, we're dog shit.
Yep.
But if we're dog shit and you understand the game well enough,
How come we were in the lead 11-9 and we threw? Yeah.
Yeah.
and how are both maps, even when we're throwing on the first map, how are all these rounds chippy? Like, how are we getting, like, Tex had like a 3K, right? But if you look at it, it's a 3-on-1 on the bomb site against a Cypher that has no cages left. In theory, you're a smart enough player to know who should have advantage 99 out of 100 times.
It
there.
should be traded no matter
Right.
what.
He gets a 3K. Congratulations to him. Excellent job. He's no longer a traffic cone. Right?
Yeah.
But in theory,
Traffic.
it's still a 3-on-1.
Yeah.
If
so
he dies
statistically, it
there-
was the right play.
Right. He
Yeah.
dies there. It's over. And
Yeah.
then we have another round where we fuck up a Sage wall.
Oh, yeah.
Sage bumps her head, falls down, so we don't have no longer the.
It
We
And
don't,
you look
we,
at
we don't
Primmie-
have the
it
trade
broke.
potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you look at Primmie, well, in that game, he was saucing
He was
everybody.
nuclear. He had like a 50% headshot rate.
So
it was aimbotting.
So on entry, he wasn't even a factor on that play. So
Yeah.
we think we have an angle covered that isn't covered. That guy gets the opening and it's like these small things, and it's like, dude, if we're trash and we can do this and we can be in these spots,
Imagine other teams.
imagine teams you think
Yeah.
are good.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
So we weren't as surprised about the Trace match, actually, which is why we thought we would get there. Because our anticipation was actually
To play
that we
Trace.
would see Trace
Yeah.
in the final.
Yeah,
Damn.
we were ready.
This
to
is
play
what we were
Trace.
already prepared for.
If we beat Lev, we would have played
You
Trace.
just didn't
and-
execute on your end. Trace
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. I'm
Yeah.
sad that we don't get to play Trace because we had specific things for Trace.
Yeah.
But it's like now we won't be able to even see that until later. But now we need to make it there. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like our.
So my next question is, how do you both feel going into this Vitality match? Like, how do you think it's gonna go? Without leaking,
I feel
compositions and map pool.
Same way as we did against
Yeah,
Lev.
Like you
because
feel pretty
I
confident.
think
going
they should
into
make it
this?
up.
yeah, it's not really about Vitality anymore or whoever we play. It's more about us now.
Yeah, for sure. We
Yeah,
can make
you're
it out
your
of
own
these
demons,
groups, bro.
right?
Because
can
we
make it out of these
already know
groups.
everything that we prep for, or what things that we do in practice. We know it works, and we know that we're in the right direction.
Yeah.
We just need to make sure that we don't kill ourselves.
And if you just speak to the players,
game,
whenever
of
you get a
course.
chance, just speak to the players. Yo, how's Talon? You played them yet? Have you scrimmed them? Just wait for their response.
I'll
Right? Like,
find out. Yeah, I'll ask.
this is what I'm saying. Like, so like the players know. Like, for me, just like he said, I think ultimately it comes down to which talent shows up. Good talent, bad talent. And I think that ultimately is what's going to hold us back is just
even
the
if we
inconsistency that
even if we
pop
show up on like a mid level, we should still take the game.
Yeah, we just need to
Word.
not throw rounds.
Yeah.
We can throw rounds if we're playing at our best.
Yeah.
Because then
Yeah.
I think at our best, I think we can win this tournament easily.
Yeah,
actually,
I agree.
with what I'm seeing and feeling.
especially with like scrim and you're
Yeah.
playing all the
Yeah.
teams here,
But
on
playing
all the
at your
brackets and
best
stuff.
for a tournament this long, a month
tough,
stretch,
bro.
almost impossible.
Yeah.
So your floor has to be higher, pretty much than everyone else's, for you to feel good enough to win a championship.
And that's so tough.
And I don't
with-
think our
with-
floor is there. That's
with
why I'm not
limited
sure.
time as
Of
a
course.
team.
Yeah.
That's tough to have a high floor.
Fair, but that's also
Yeah.
my fault because again, revolving door, different fifth
Yeah.
man, Primmie's just coming. So like it is what it is. I'm not gonna bitch about that. Like I get it. I get why there are sometimes, inconsistencies in our play. It's okay, fine, sure, and sure if the comps are to blame, okay, fine. The problem is, at least from our end, the players know it's an advantage. They feel the advantage. They embrace the advantage. So they can't then use the excuse, oh, it was the comp. Right? Which they don't. It's only the outside people that are like, oh, maybe you're cooking too much.
That's-
the players know. They know. They're like, damn, we fucked that up, bro. Sorry that we threw that.
That's a thing too, and it's like I hear a lot of talent or like outside opinions from ex pros or pros currently, and they think that it's all on you guys, the coaching staff. Oh, they're making them play this comp, but they don't watch this podcast that much and understand that it's like the whole team's buying into it too. Because if the team had a problem with it, they would say something, and then you wouldn't
Yeah.
run it.
Yeah.
Like you told me.
Yeah.
Previously, you had some like crazy comp you wanted to run on something. I forgot what map it was. Doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah,
but
and Bam was like, nope.
They shut it down. Yeah.
Nope, we ain't
Exactly.
doing it. I was like, all right.
So
fuck it.
it's like
unlucky.
It's,
I mean, it's
not
not a-
just you
yeah.
guys like
Yeah.
overcooking.
It's not a
the whole
dictatorship.
team believes in the
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. It's a team discussion.
Yeah.
Like this is. I mean, Hector brings it to the table. We talk about it. Here's the good things that he likes about it. Here's the bad things about it, and we have a team discussion. Do you like it? Do you like it? Do you feel comfortable? Are you willing to learn it?
And the thing
Things
is,
like that.
if it had worked, right?
Well, I'm a
let's-
genius.
Yeah,
Like, we two
yeah,
are
yeah,
red.
yeah. It's like
I'm a
this like,
genius.
double-edged sword, bro. It's
That's
like
that's just life. I think
yeah, it is. It is.
When
It's
you're
all
com-
hindsight Andy's.
when you're competing in any sport, that's how it is, right? Like I think probably the most famous one was the Pep Guardiola came up with a false nine in soccer. I don't know how much you guys are like
I don't
big
know
soccer
shit about
fans,
that,
but
but
tactically,
yeah.
but like basically, imagine Messi is a dummy. But then Messi is Messi, and it created a whole bunch of space for him. It's kind of like
The
what I do
neon
with
shit.
Gov.
Yeah,
It's
the
basically
neon
neon.
shit. Yeah.
Where you create somebody that's supposed to occupy all the gravity to open it up for your teammates.
Yeah.
And then when it does, it kind of invertly opens it up for Messi. People thought it was borderline R word, but then it wins a Champions League.
Yeah.
And now the false nine is like this legendary strat that like a lot of people do. And it's like, you can see that in every sport where like someone does something really radically different. Basketball 3, Steph Curry, the Golden State Warriors, like this sort of era of basketball is
Yeah.
like another one. But you got kids and people taking half-court jump shots, and you have a bunch of basketball enthusiasts like, this is dumb. But then when you look at the NBA,
You look at Curry
the whole-
consistently hitting half-court shots. You're
the
like, what the
whole
fuck?
league has moved to basically not only 3-and-D players, but basically players that like, can occupy those ranges. Now you even have big guys that have to be able to shoot threes.
Yep.
You sold this to somebody in the 90s, they'd be like, what the are you talking about? Right? Because in the early 2000s, you have like a team like the Suns, which are doing this basically 7 seconds or less thing with Steve Nash, where it's basically like up and down the court and just threes or dunks, right? That's pretty much what basketball is at the moment. You have like Indiana Pacers, Milwaukee Bucks with the high fast court, fast breaks, but then you have Steph Curry with threes. But both teams have to have players that can do both because that's just what the NBA is now.
You need that flexibility.
So if you can't, if you didn't see it then in those sports, I can obviously understand people not seeing creativity in Valorant because that's just how things are.
Yeah.
Right? The meta is the meta because it's strong. But the problem is, ultimately, it's like the issue I had with DRX with the changes. When if the whole league, if the whole world is trying to be PRX, then eventually what's going to be the meta? Smart players that are slow.
Yep.
G2. Why does G2 clap those cheeks every time?
Absolutely destroys them, too.
They're not better players.
Yeah.
I mean this with no disrespect to Valen. Valen is not better than any one of those players mechanically. This is no disrespect.
Yeah.
But he may be more valuable than all of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he is, to be honest.
yeah, but we also have to be able to be open enough and honest enough to be like, individually, PRX might be the best roster in the world by a clear margin. Right?
The mechanic talent on that team is fucking
Right.
nuts.
Now, why are they winning? We can have another philosophical argument as to why they're winning, and that's not one we're going to have today.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, we have to acknowledge each team's win condition.
Yep.
Right? Right? Some people play to their strengths better than others, blah, 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 blah. But those are two entirely different metas, right? Mm-hmm. You got one team that changes comps and basically can one flat you, like basically 1-5 flat you, and just get info everywhere, and then basically take a 1-on-1 and just win it every time. Or a 1v2. Remember that Icebox round where something went up against us on Icebox? It took a 1v3 in playoffs.
Yeah.
And killed us.
And killed all of us.
1v3, bro.
Get fucked.
Right? Okay. But like unlucky. But like, okay, you have a team built like that, or you have a team built like G2.
Yeah.
Right? Now, which one you decide to build your whole organization around is entirely up to you.
And depends on who you got,
But
too.
both can win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It just depends on like
That's-
where your margins
That's
are.
what I love about Valorant, too. It's like there's not one set way to play this fucking game. Like, there isn't.
No, there isn't. This is
You can do... And I don't even think we scratched the surface either. There's probably way more of that.
Because we're doing it at, like, I mean, I'm not going to count the chickens before they hatch, but I told Cruz, like, the deeper we go in this tournament, the more we change it forever. Mm-hmm. Right? Because, you know,
People still haven't
Yeah.
seen half the stuff that we have.
they don't even know. And part of that conversation is what I told you about, like, the way the groups have panned out for us. Once Trace won, it completely changed everything we were planning on doing. Now we have an entirely different plan for what we were going to do. And it's simply because now it's like, you know, now we see that, you know, we technically have two of the best teams in their regions. I mean, on paper, I don't know if Vitality was the true number 2, but
They were good, though, man. At the end there, like, that was...
Vitality was good. Safe was on a run.
Dude, Safe was popping the fuck
Safe was
off,
on a run.
bro.
Like, I think...
Holy shit. I'm
I
so
think
happy
our-
to see him on Duelist again.
For sure. I think our group obviously got harder, but I think, I think, you know, Valorant will change. PRX changed Valorant too. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah,
It
from
proved
last
that
year's champions.
you know, it went from CS dominated metas
Yeah.
and understanding of the game, you know, thanks to like, you know, Nitro and then, or I guess Steel and Nitro, you know.
Even Days. Even
And
Days
then
was really trying to implement
Days,
like a lot of
even
shit.
before that. And
Yeah.
then obviously FNS took the torch when they went on their run. But like PRX went from they went from obscurity to being able to like do everything that they have done. And now you simply just see another game. Now you have teams trying to emulate what they have. You have DRX making changes that go away from macro to micro and to specific mechanical stuff. Oh, we need the firepower to compete. That only happens because people see the value in what PRX
of it,
is.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Schmeek stuff that we talked about. Like PRX took what you guys did
Literally.
and turned it into a viable strategy.
They just kept doing it, bro.
Yeah.
Fuck, I wish we would have kept doing it.
But that's also a part of the
Shit.
game now, and you got to be able to handle that. And you know, teams like us, we don't seem to handle that very well. PRX dumpsters us every time we play them for some reason.
Game of matchups, bro.
But
I'm telling you.
G2
Yeah.
body them,
Yep.
right? And it's like this constant back and forth of like, you know, styles make matchups, and it's only able to happen because Valorant allows you to kind of stretch the level of creativity to a place where like competitively, it's not everybody doing the same shit all the time.
I think that's why you don't see like a team win back-to-back world championships too. It's hard.
It's
man.
very hard.
Well,
fucking
I
tough,
think
bro.
in this game, it would
Consistency is tough.
fair, but I think honestly, I think it could have happened and should have happened in this game. And I know I'm speaking with my ego on this, but I believe it could have happened and it should have already happened. I think there are people that just understand the game way more and way better than others. I think the reason it won't ever happen is the economics of this game. Because
And
no
maybe-
team
and maybe-
will ever
and-
stay together.
Just like
That's
it's so dumb, huh? Like every single team
Yeah.
that's won a championship is split up,
bro,
no?
Yeah.
Every
team.
single one.
Yeah,
Every
it's
single
and I think it'll continue to happen. I think, let's say we win, I think we'll be the only one that doesn't happen with.
Yeah, you'd actually give it another run.
Yeah. Because and
You don't know that though. Because I'm telling you, like,
fair.
like let's say like you
Let's
win,
look- but as a
all of a
group-
sudden people's stocks go up, and now it gets
No,
in
but
your
I-
head. Oh, I could be making 20 bands overseas.
no, but as a group we've talked
you know what I
about
mean?
it.
Like,
No. But as a group we've talked about it, and like that's the only reason I say
It's
that.
kind of hard for
but
even
to
like
your point,
Primmie to go
yes.
international because he
Right.
doesn't speak like proper.
Yeah.
yeah, but like let's say like
Yeah, no, I only said that because we had the conversation. But truth be told, if somebody throws 3, 4, 5
Yeah,
X, which has happened,
ridiculous
it
amount of
can be-
money,
that
you
can
know.
change. Yeah,
it's
So-
tough. It's tough. All right. Anyways, going on to we talked about PRX. Might as well talk about him now. G2 dismantled him. EDG beat Foot. Foot seemed to just struggle against any region that's not EMEA.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I've come to the conclusion of. G2 beat EDG. We already talked about that. Shit was close. G2 ended up just squeaking it out. Icy had a big game on Bind. That was big for him.
yeah, because his icebox was cooked.
Yeah.
So-
Dude, G2 with Icebox, it's like, it's so weird, man. Like the ebb and flow that they have on that shit, because it's like sometimes they look amazing on it.
No,
But
at
it's
their
that-
best, they're fucking insane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they are. But then they have
but-
these games where it's like they'll just drop it.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I actually don't think their icebox is even that insane as most people think it is.
yeah.
Especially since we've scrimmed them recently. Like yeah, for me personally, I don't think they're icebox, especially since they're running a no duelist comp.
Yeah.
So, but Icy is still playing well, surprisingly. So, yeah, I think it's very hard for them to play well in this current meta because I don't know if all this util is enough for them to deal with like triple controller versus FPX and nonsense like that. Like people are running like standard or just crazy wacky comps on Icebox, and I don't know. I just don't see G2 hanging well throughout the tournament run on Icebox.
It might just be a fucking ban that they have to do. I don't know. It's just weird. It's like sometimes, like I said, sometimes they look amazing, and then sometimes it's either like they win convincingly or they get destroyed. There's no middle ground where it's close.
I think what happened versus EDG though was they probably would have won convincingly, but Can kind of just went off. It's like an Osbos thing. It's like sometimes you deal with these guys. It's your game. I mean, I don't want to do anybody's job.
Most
for free,
teams
but-
have a guy like that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But that's also because of the duelist that I'm talking about.
Their game plan, and this is not me calling out Josh. I'm sure he'll fall on the sword anyway. Their game plan versus Can was dog shit. So it's either wasn't executed correctly or they made mistakes.
Yeah.
Right? And I have no problem with saying that because I've been very famous with like the whole PRX 13-0. That was my game plan.
Yeah.
Did not work anywhere near where I thought it would, and I took the sword, or like I took the blame for that and fell on the sword, and I will always do that because I kind of walked this into booby traps because I thought we should do something and we tried it and it absolutely blew up in our face. And the 13-0, it was like my fault, whatever. So, in the spirit of that is when I can say like the game plan versus Can was just ass. So it creates problems now when you're chain losing rounds because a guy is just like
Snowballing
getting what he
ass
wants.
game too.
But Valen
Yeah.
fought him out of it. They figured it out. Like it is what it is, and that's just sometimes happens. Sometimes you just have an idea as to what to do against a guy to isolate him and to kind of like make his game hard,
And it
and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
For us against Lev, it worked.
But it's still also to
Was his own lucky.
what Andre was talking about, how you need to learn how to ice him.
No, fair.
For
that's a
mid-round
player
adjusting.
thing. That's just
Like,
like
it's-
that's what I mean
But
by
it's hard
Valen
on the
eventually figured it
defensive
out.
side. Like how,
Yeah.
like on the defensive side, when they're bringing the fight to you, it can be really hard to
Yeah.
ice them. Like how do you do that? Because I even saw them trying to just play full retake and not give early fights
Yeah.
today.
Oh, we got to talk about that offline. There's no way I'm doing
Yeah.
that here. Fuck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll talk about it
But-
another way.
There's
But,
only
but it's things that you got to think
But-
about.
but
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
for
It's like
sure.
it's on the
Yeah.
defensive side. How do
Yeah.
you ice play? Like that's a whole nother battle. Because at least on
Yeah.
attack, you can use your info to like identify where the
Like-
motherfucker is anchoring,
Yeah.
or like if he's going for aggro fights. Actually, they did a good job on their attack of doing that.
Yeah.
They did a
Sure.
good job on their attack.
Yeah.
Of doing
But you
that.
can also do your attack. I mean, it's no secret now, so like it doesn't matter. But like you could do what we did against CNED,
Yeah.
right? You just
On 100 Thieves. Yeah.
yeah, you find them with your util on attack, right? And then on defense, what are his conditions?
Do you
like,
just
what does he need?
take
Is
fights
he
early
Wardell?
on?
No.
Is it like
he
1v1s? Is it does he get supported?
yes,
You know, does
Where
he
does
lurk?
he take his angles? What does he like to do? That's
Yeah.
stuff every coaching staff should know. So that's not me. Like the things I was keeping close are more
Like, what is his heat
very
map?
particular.
Yeah.
But like I'm just saying, like you could do very simple things that are not hard. Sometimes it just would mean you'd have less util for the retake, but you should be practicing in that scenario anyway. If your game plan is here's
that.
how we're gonna identify.
Yeah.
So that means you shouldn't have a recon dart for your retakes.
The only advice I can give to people is like, okay, let's say on Icebox A side and I'm defense and I want to ice Kang. It's like, okay, how do we isolate the Jet? That's it. Like, how do you make sure that he, with all the support that he gets, is useless? It's like, okay, we're gonna use all this util to delay the rest of the team. We're just gonna 4v1 this guy, and if that doesn't work, then you're gonna kill the rest of the team instead. Then,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like that's how
gotta
you. That's
figure
how.
out-
That's how you would
Sometimes
defend
you
it.
could even just ignore him, kill everybody, kill the
Exactly.
supporting part.
Yeah, like
supporting
he's
cast.
gonna dash in. It's the data. Like, does he dash in top gen? Does he dash in default?
Yeah.
You know, it's stuff like that on the entry.
Facts.
Then you just throw the util at him. We go kill everybody.
Or you
else.
just hold your shit, show the bodies, get hit with a dart, make them use all their shit to hit you, back the fuck up, play all
Retake.
your retake with all your
Yeah.
util. They don't have util.
Or if he's contacting, because like obviously he was a lot of you see this so much when like Jets pop off on Icebox attack. It's a lot of like taking just dry
fights. Yeah.
So get an op up early.
Yeah, bro.
Get an op up early, yeah.
Dude.
And you know what? I feel like G2 on that map, since they're not running a duelist, they feel like they don't want to run one.
Exactly.
But they can still do it.
They can still do
You
it.
can still run it. Yeah. You can still run
But
it out.
a lot of teams, when they don't run a duelist comp, they fall into the trap of never buying it off.
Yeah, dude, the op is so fucking good in this game, bro.
Yeah.
It's broken.
It's something that we've talked about that you wish you could do a lot more. You'll get there, bro. You'll get there. But yeah.
I wish.
Anyways, we'll see if Foot can get there against PRX. I think PRX is going to beat them just because
I think they are gonna destroy.
I think
that
Foot
team.
struggle against international teams. I don't know what the fuck they did.
Remember, Foot is PRX of Europe.
Yeah, they're like a mini Paper X.
Yeah. That's going to be a cool one to watch, though, for sure.
I think Foot is good. I think Foot.
they are good.
They're just
I don't know.
I think when it comes to international, they just choke. I'm going to keep it buck, bro.
Yeah.
Nah, I
that
don't-
could be it, but
No?
I mean,
they got to get a little bit out of their shell, though.
That's what I was gonna say. Was last year's Foot to me was, in my opinion, one of the best
Bro, I love
tactical team
Yes,
in the
they
world.
were. They were
Fucking-
strategically
Also,
one of the
Kiwi-
better
They were
teams.
strategically one of the better
Kiwi
ones.
was also sick as
Yeah.
fuck, bro. I
Yeah.
love that guy.
But I don't. But this year they are nowhere close to that. And
Yeah.
I think that's the problem. Is like when their plan A doesn't work, there's no backups.
Yeah.
You know what it is? It's what you said earlier as well. This is what's ringing to me. It's not like a good tournament style. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
Yeah,
kind of
they're
how
good
you
week to
said
week.
PRX. It's not a good tournament style. It's basically the same shit, but even worse because
Yeah.
you know it's like budget, like Walmart PRX. in a way.
Right. So
I say that, but I know they're really fucking good. So like
Yeah.
everybody out there, don't just because I say that, I don't think that they're actually ass. They're fucking insane. They shit on most of the European teams all year long. But
yeah, I mean, it's a good team. Like it's not like I think
everybody
they're-
here is good. You made it the champs. Everyone here is fucking
Yeah.
good in their own way.
It's just stylistically, I think
It's just
this
matchups.
group is just.
It's just
Yep.
matchups.
And then,
Way too good.
dude, it would be poetic to see PRX EDG for the decider. That would be poetic.
And PRX is
That would be
they're in
cool.
their heads. They're probably gonna stomp them.
That would be poetic. I don't know though. With the way that, low key though, with the way that EDG played against G2, if they can be strong like that, there might be a chance.
But there won't be because mechanically,
It might just go down to
G2
that.
and PRX are worlds apart,
True.
bro. And again, as respectfully as possible, because I know Josh sometimes watches this. This is no flame, but like what their strengths are so opposite of the strengths of PRX. But PRX are literally like T2000s from like Terminator.
Yeah, it's just complete aimbot.
It's fucked, bro.
Yeah.
Like you have to outthink them, outwork them in different ways. Sure, EDG's not gonna do that, bro.
Yeah. G2, at least when they play against these teams that have players that are mechanically
Trace
gifted.
might have a chance.
Yeah.
No shot, bro.
Yeah. G2 will put themselves in
Now-
spots that are advantageous.
Now-
Even if it does come down
Yeah.
to aim, they'll be in like a good ass spot where it'll be
Yeah.
traded instantly or something of the sort.
And they have a lot of experience at this level
Yeah.
and playing. But like another thing too, if Can pops off, of course anything at when you're here, top
Tournament
16 is
mode.
best in the world.
Tournament mode.
Anything is possible. Anything.
Make a run.
Right? So if a player like for us on Bind, it was King. King basically saved them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If not, if
My
if
brother.
he yeah.
But somehow you just
but
aced
it
us.
does
And
look
then,
like
Yeah,
don't
if
know.
he had, and then he plays against Trace, and he has like 3 kills in 17 rounds or something.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like any one of these performances
It was Valorant.
can happen.
yeah.
EDG certainly capable of being able to do this. But if you tell me they play for stakes 100 times, I think PRX is probably going to win like 80 of them, 90 of them. And it's simply because matchups, they have the favorable matchup. And they're not worried about an opper because something is just as dangerous with it. So if it became a matchup like that, it's not like Can has like a significant advantage over something anyway, even using his weapon that he's most famous for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't feel it. I don't see it. But I mean, I could certainly be wrong. But
I don't know.
just don't.
I think that matchup is just a coin flip, in my opinion.
Could be. I mean, you're giving the better odds than I am. So,
Yeah. I mean, it's just because like which version of Paper X we're gonna get to.
Which version of EDG? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's like both teams are kind of coin flippy. So it's
But historically, it has always
yeah,
been PRX.
yeah,
Historically.
historically for sure.
and I will
But
always lean
yeah.
towards.
I'm gonna say like in terms of
The
recency
mean.
bias though, because of
Yeah.
Because of the performance that
performance
EDG had
that we
against
got to
G2.
see it from both teams. Or
I mean,
agree.
but in fairness, though, recency bias would mean that we're dog shit because if you look at our playoffs, we were playing standard comps, we're getting destroyed.
no,
we
but
got
I'm
ragdolled
saying
by
recency
everybody.
in terms of our matchup already in champs.
Oh, well, that recent. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. he's
I'm talking
about,
literally
how
like
they just
like a
played
week ago, basically.
in this tournament.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
too hyperbolic for me, but yeah.
No, yeah, because
yeah.
a lot can happen within a week. You know, like
Yeah, that's true.
so.
We're gonna find out in a week.
I mean, look what happened to look what happened to Foxy 9. He was healthy, and all of a sudden now he has a fucking foot.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, he has
Yeah,
a foot brace now.
he, like, hurt
He's
his
on
foot.
crutches.
What the fuck?
Yeah, bro, he was just chilling the other day. I saw him in the
God
elevator
damn,
just chilling.
bro.
Yeah, bro.
Wish him a
I'm not-
speedy recovery, bro.
Fair.
Hey, at
That's
least you don't
true.
need your feet to play a fucking game, you know.
That, bro. Could you imagine if it was like a hand?
Could you imagine if he was like that
Fuck,
StarCraft player who used his foot
bro.
to?
Oh, bro, I remember that clip. That clip was crazy. And he won. He won that shit too, right?
I actually don't even
Homie
know.
was like-
all I know is that he started BMing with his foot, and I'm just like, this guy's crazy.
That was
bro.
savage, bro. I can't believe he actually think about it. He had to practice like that. You know what I mean? For how long? Anyway,
He's probably in the lead for that. Bro.
we're gonna get off topic. We're done. We're gonna wrap this shit up, man. Thank you guys for watching Spike Talk episode 17. Drop a like, drop a follow, or subscribe, whatever it may be. Drop comments. I think we were gonna get to some viewer comments, but I gotta go get ready to cast. We want to get some food too. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy it. We'll see you next week for the whole squad. I think, right, or most of the squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna
enjoying
try
us,
to
yeah.
make that happen.
Hopefully
That's
for
gonna be
good
fun.
pretense too. Hopefully you guys make it all the way. All right.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get bodied. All right,
Peace out.
unlucky.
See you guys.